name is Law Nation. As the room fill up, be sure to smash upon the like button, share this content. You guys been doing a wonderful job at that. Let's keep that up. Let's continue to grind and shine, baby. Appreciate you guys for pressing that subscribe button. Get me well over 100,000. I can't wait for the official party. Let's get it. There are known knowns and there are known unknowns, right? Come on, Cowboys post-draft improvements. Appreciate you. Come on, baby. Be sure, and I mean just that, be sure to smash upon the like button. Let's go. Ain't no party like a cowboy party. Yeah, come on. But what about a Law Nation groove? Come on. Mama said there'll be days just like this. Let me know where y'all are from too. I always love to know where you over there are from. Come on. Hey. Oh. Five, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come on. All right. What's good? I appreciate everybody for tuning in. The name is Law Nation, and we're going to talk about the Dallas Cowboys. Of course, I know you guys heard about the mock drafts grade, or no, I'm sorry, not mock draft grades. The official grades. Okay, that's what we heard, the official grades. And we'll go over them. But as the room fill up, let the room fill up a little bit more before we get into the details. Have you ever been down a situation whereas you thought you're getting into something that would be wonderful for you? You thought you would be getting into something that would be nice for you. You thought that this particular situation, that the job that you may gotten or what have you is going to be the best job possible, or this singer or this concert that you're going to go to is going to be the best one possible. And then you get there. It sounds cool, but when you get there, you actually hear them sing the lullabies or the song, and it's not even close to what you thought it was going to sound like. It literally, Darius, shout out to you. I see you from Port Arthur, Texas. Appreciate you. And Clifton, appreciate you. You get there, and all you're hearing is... Watch it then. So you get there, you be sitting there like, wait a minute, I thought I was going to hear Luther. And that's how the draft is. You may thought that, hey, everything that you listen to, far as the pundits, the critics, the 4-letter, the 3-letter networks, that all of a sudden this would be nice. This would be the end-all, be-all. You know what I'm saying? Just like they said, man, the dude Josh Rosen a couple of years back, he got the greatest arms and mindset that we've seen in a long time. He's going to be phenomenal. Y'all remember Sam Donaldson? Oh, man, the guy's chiseled chin. He's going to be able to make every throw. And then all of a sudden you hear it one more time. I can't make this stuff up. It sounds good. You might have thought you sound good in the shower by itself. You know what I'm saying? You might thought you sound like Luther, but in actuality, you sound just like this. Yes, indeed. Y'all know people just like that all the time, right? You may have thought that person was going to be able to be something, or do something and not do a thing. But I come here to tell y'all, man, that, the real grade will be when you put the helmet on, the pads on, and it's from Saturday through Saturday, or Sunday through Sunday. When you seeing these guys, what they do off the field, on the field, as well as what they do on Sunday and Monday and Thursday, that is why you really find out who's the real, right? I'm real, the way I walk, the way I talk, that type of groove. But we're going to go over all of these nuances as it relates to the grade. I appreciate you, Nicole. Sound like trash, don't it? But that's how the 4-letter, the 3-letter network goes, and I ain't putting the lipstick on the pig right now. I'm not putting it on there. I'm not watering this down. Come on, Miss Piggy, let me make you smaller, though. She eating her veggies, Well, Pig eat just about anything and everything. Yes, indeed. But neither here nor there. Let's pull it up right quick. And let me play it one more time because people just coming on in. They don't know. That's how most people sound, man. All right, let me pull this up. All right, so this was the report card from Draft Experts. All right, so let's go down here and look at this, and let's go over this real quickly. We're not going to dive into details of it. We just stay at the surface level. PFF give the Cowboys a C+, all right? Right, and they give their explanations and reasons why. DraftKings Nation, if there's ever such a thing, they put nations on there. I wonder why, but they give themselves a B or what have you out of this Dallas Cowboys draft grade. The New York Post, they are giving the Dallas Cowboys a C, which is rightfully so. They're in New York, so they're gonna give us a C. What happened to the Texas Post? Where's the Texas Post? I need to know where Dallas Post at and these sorts of things. Sports Illustrated gave the Cowboys a C. The Ringer gave the Cowboys a C-, right? Okay. And USA Today gave the Cowboys a C-. NFL.com, they know who butter their bread. They gave us a B+. And Sporting News gave us a C. The Associated Press gave the Cowboys a B+, and that's the end of this article. So what I'm saying here is that it's cool and all. I get it. I understand it. I know what's going on with all of these grades or what have you, whereas no one gave us an A beside the individual guys. I get it. So anywhere between a C and a B is what they gave us, not one single A, which is cool. Because like I said, what were their grades last year from all of those people? And the year before that, and the year before that, and the year before that, shout out to you, Ivory, appreciate you. C-Los, I giving us a C too. I see you, fam, C-Los. Darius Carter gave us an A+, appreciate you, fam. So when we start contextualizing these grades and we start thinking about it and we start saying, what did the Cowboys ultimately did in this particular draft? Because we were in a situation, granted, remember this list? I went over this list before, and this projected 2023 starters before the draft. Shout out to Blogging the Boards for this particular excerpt right here. And we were talking about who's going to start actually, where these guys are going to play at, who's going to take over the running back role, who's going to take over the tight end role, who's really going to be the wide receiver. You didn't really need anybody for those spots there. And then when you look at it and you contextualize the defensive situation, all right, maybe, just maybe you can say, I can still draft a guy to complement. But even in the hearts of hearts, even if when you look at Mozzie, and I appreciate what he's going to bring to the table, I don't foresee, and I could be blind to it, you know what I'm saying? I could be sounding like the dog right about now. I don't foresee Mozzie being the guy that's going to start over Jonathan Hankins. I think that he will be a good complement to Jonathan Hankins. I truly believe that. Now, hear me out. A new broom, and I'm saying this very much so, loosely. A new broom can sweep the floor good, but that old broom can get those corners. That's what I'm saying, you know. So what I'm saying is basically you don't have to rush Mozzie out there. And excuse me, you can take a guy that lift weights at the LA Fitness all his life, right? Could be swole, got muscles on top of a muscle, right? And there could be a guy that do sheetrocks and shingles all day, right? And they get into a wrestle. One guy got muscles all over his body and frame. One guy knows how to walk the lane and do things as it relates to leverage. And he can fold that man up like a wallet in a lunch. And I'm talking about the guy that throws sheetrocks all around every day. So your strength doesn't mean a hill of beans. It's how you use your technique, you know. So that's what I'm saying, is that you want to slowly bring Mozzie in. And I'm not saying Mozzie trash. I'm not saying that he will be on the bench riding the pine. But what I'm saying is for those first 25 to 30 reps, you may have big Jonathan Hankins in that spot. And then you can incorporate and then also infuse or integrate big boy Mozzie in there. Can you imagine Jonathan Hankins been leaning on you all quarter, first quarter, second quarter, and you're tired, the sweat is sweating right now, right? And then you bring in this dude that throws 800 pounds around like it's nothing. That's where I can say that even this guy can bring forth some impact for this team. But when you look at it as an isolated situation, and I told y'all, don't look at football as an isolated situation, but a combination for the nation, baby. So let me repeat. For the situation. Don't look at these guys as an isolated situation, but a combination for the nation, baby. You know? So now that you can look at it and you will say, all right, cool. Even Schoonmaker, the Schoonmaker can get out there and be a positive force for us. Why, Law? Why? Because nobody is going to sit there and say, let's bracket cover Schoonmaker when you got CD on the edge. When you got Brandon Cooks that can be on a deep over, that you got to dedicate a safety over the top. There's only 11 guys on the field. And we wish teams would drop 6 and 7 DBs again or 6 or 7 defenders again. You see, there was no plan or an attack within reasons when Kellen Moore was here because he didn't know how to defend it. He didn't know what to do when teams sit there and say, I tell you what, Kellen Moore, run it. We will give you the running lanes. We would only rush 4. And we will drop the rest. And I'm not trying to put dirt on that man's name. Kellen Moore, by far, going to go over there to the Chargers, and he's going to have a phenomenal year, right? Every year he's growing and learning, right? But what I'm saying collectively, Cowboy Nation, is don't look at this as an isolated situation. That's all I'm saying, baby. All right, so speaking of that, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Do me a huge favor. For the new people in, hit that like button, share it, content. Damn. I ain't mad at begging y'all. You know what I'm saying? To hit that like and share this content. That let me know. It's like a survey of feedback for me to see whether or not I'm doing a good job. Right. I'm seeing if I'm doing a good job. Y'all let me know if I'm doing a good job too. If I'm doing a horrible one, I need to figure out how to reconfigure. But what I want to do is share this audio. Charles Davis on the Cowboys post-draft improvements. He was on 105.3 The Fan. Him and Jane Slater, they went over some detailings of this particular draft, and I want to add some insight with some commentary over it. Is that okay with you guys? Okay, let's go with it.
I'm hiding it well, and hello to everyone else there. Good to talk with you all, and I appreciate you giving me that kind of grace there, Jane. But, let's be honest about it. We work in sports. Everyone that we know thinks we're in a toy store and a candy store each and every day. So we're not breaking rocks. It can't be that bad, right?
Well, I do want to ask you, Charles, for people at home, we were just talking about Mel Kiper's career and the 40 years that he's put into it. Yeah. How much work does go into draft analytical work and, just take us behind the scenes, the amount of time that's spent watching tape, but also checking in with the guys who are checking out film or the.
Oh yeah. Speaking of that, the amount of work is a lot. We will be coming out today with the Fihoko tape, and we'll be giving you guys some analysis, the good, the bad, and the ugly. More good than bad. And we'll be trying to get that film out for you all. So it's a lot of work that goes into details, and it's a labor of love when you talking about a team that you love, that you don't like. Y'all can tell. I don't like the Cowboys, by the way. You can clip it. You can clip that and tell it to everyone. I definitely don't like the Cowboys at all. I love them. I absolutely love the Cowboys, and we all do in our own unique way, right? There's no big I's, no little U's, and how you love someone is different, or a thing is different from someone else. So it's a lot of love labor going into this thing, and I know you guys follow for the same reason, because you guys can sense the same passion. Let's go.
Strength and conditioning coach or the GMs, what goes into your job and getting people prepared for the prospects, and then the entertainment value that goes into putting on this show for 3 days?
But Jane, you know and understand it very well, because you do something similar each and every day. I mean, everything that you're doing in terms of reporting on something from a team, following up on a story, getting to know people better, forging relationships that work, so that when you talk with them, there's a trust factor, and you know what you can and cannot use, all of those things. Mel, let's face it, Mel's the gold standard. All right. I think I wasn't there for your discussion, but I'm pretty sure the three of you had talked about when Mel began, this wasn't something the league was looking for. This wasn't something people wanted to have, especially those that were already involved in the league. I mean, I think it really came to a culmination when, the then Colts general manager was upset with him about what he had said about Jeff George. Where Jeff George was number one in the draft. Mel said he was his 90th rated player. and the guys like, where's Mel Kiper? No. Blah, 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 blah. Years later, we see, Mel knows a lot. Okay? Because Mel put the time in. Mel put the effort in. Mel created what we have here today.
No doubt. It is easier. It is easier to flow behind someone versus someone being the first. And Mel Kiper, I get it. A lot of people say, he suck, he's trash, right? And that could be, granted, a very much so accurate thing to say to a person, right? But the very much so thing that you love to do was brought about because of him, right? And he was the first one. So at times it is hard to be the first generation. The first gen is always looked about, hey, this is right. I remember when Apple TV came out with their first TV, Apple TV. The first generation sucks now, right? Nobody got the first gen, right? But you still have to appreciate the first one in order to appreciate the one that you got now. Now, some people will be too young and too, wet behind the ears to understand what I just said. It may hit them 5 to maybe 10 years from now. Like, that was kind of hard to do, right? So I even look at it from within the confines of what we do over here as content creators, right? There's a content creator that's probably watching now who haven't even started, right? But they got shortcuts to it because now there's tons of examples, right? You know, to get the comments on the screen, right? Law was one of the first ones, put the comments up there. Shango was really the first one to do that, right? But now everybody, it's a staple piece to have the stroller at the bottom. You know, that ain't easy to really build in. But those are thought tracks that we are implementing over here in these spaces that, shoot, we didn't went through it by trial and error, right? But there are others who can just jump out and say, hey, I want to get a channel similar to that. And they don't have to go through the growing pains. They can jump right up. And you see how the comments just popping out on the screen and stuff like that. That, my friend, you know, it took a minute for the program all of that in, right? But now someone can have a shortcut to jump right on in. Endorsement, sponsorship, all of that stuff, logos on the screen. Who you think that came from, right? It comes from a person like me who jumped out there originally and did it, right? Now, people would say, they'll take some of it and they'll rework it, and then they would do it and put it in their own way and finesse it and make it look 10 to 20,000 times better. From a drafting community aspect of it, that's what they did collectively, even with Mel Kiper, right? So, and I'm not walking around with my chest out and say, hey, look, man, I'm Ray J over here, dog. I hit it first. No, I'm not that. But what I'm saying is collectively, right? These are the things that's been done by others that's now is common because you the one that got a chance to get it out first, right? So that's just how that goes. So B-rolls, all of that stuff while we talking and going over a player, you know, hey, all of that stuff, hey, you know, Law been doing this for many of years, right? But now we perfected it. Now it looks good. It looks wet. And the 4-letter, 3-letter network, hey, let me take a piece of that. .com, let me take a little piece of that, right? That's just how it goes, y'all. That's the name of the game. Yes, indeed. So let's go, Cowboy Nation. Let's get it. Let's go. Let's listen to more of all of this. And I really appreciate all of you guys. Continue to hit that like button, share this content.
All right. So we have to give him the props he deserves, the respect he deserves, pay homage to him. He went from punching bag and punch line to gold standard, platinum standard, whatever you want to call it. He taught us a lot, too, along the way about what you have to do that. Because Mel was forging relationships at the time people didn't want him around. Mel was learning information when people didn't want to give it to him. So all the rest of us benefit from that. Jane, the outline you gave is pretty spot on about all of that. I will never put myself in the category of Mel Kiper, Todd McShay, Daniel Jeremiah, those guys, because that is their full-time gig.
Dang,
right? That's what they do all year long. I jump in when my season ends. So in January is when I ramp up. Do I try and stay abreast? Of course. But am I doing it to the level that they are? The answer is no. So from January on, meaning really Senior Bowl, from Senior Bowl through the draft, it is catch-up time for me.
Catch up.
I have to do all the same things that they're trying to do. But never once will I put myself in their category. And there's so many good ones out there that we don't even see on television all the time. I believe Matt Miller's on TV now with ESPN. He's been terrific for a long time. Dane Brugler and the beast guide that he gives, phenomenal. Great places for information. And fans themselves, never have they had better access to everything that we do, including watching all 22 tape, which coaches swore would never be given to the public. They have access to that now. So all of us who are in the business, all of my friends, I tell them all the time, we better be really careful with how we approach fans.
Let me pause it right here. And he's right with that. You know, within the Cowboys community alone, we got a lot of draft guys here. Voch Lombardi, we got my guy, Balls Cowboys Sports. We got, you know, the OC, Foots the King. You got a lot of guys, Okoye. And Okoye not even doing this full time, right? He's doing a whole bunch. He got his hands in a lot of stuff. But he was able to scheme through the entire defensive tackles, right? Scheme through them, look through them, looked at tape, evaluated. He didn't go off of one tape. He looked at a plethora of other tapes, and he said, well, Mozzie is the best interior defensive tackle. And he put it into a group chat with us, and I was like, hell no, Jalen Carter is. And then my guy, Okoye, he got a process in the sand that say, prove it with the film, right? He put the film out there, right? Those things, man, that's how content is being generated and created just by a conversation. And boom, lo and behold, with the 26th pick, Mozzie is now drafted, right? And it was not like he did this 2 weeks before the draft, 3 weeks before the draft. He did it many moons before the draft, right? And you got guys like my guy, Boss Cowboy Sports, Terrence Steele. In 3 years, he'll be X, Y, and Z. He put it in a guide. You know what I'm saying? He put that stuff in a book with tangible evidence, right? Not intangible, tangible, where you can go back and peel the book open and go to his issue before 2020, right before the pandemic, and read upon Terrence Steele. Amazing work, right? So those are things that we put in a lot of work, and a lot of that stuff goes unseen. Not a lot of people talk about it, but it's real close to what these guys are getting paid millions of dollars to do, right? The Mel Kipers of the world and all of the other guys that's out there on the 4-ladder to 3-ladder network. So, and then there's people outside of the Cowboys community. Louis T, he's really good. He's really good and prospecting and going over players. He just get blinded with the Washington stuff. You know what I'm saying? Saying that Sam Howell, if I were to let him say it, he would say literally Sam Howell is better than Dak and better than doggone Jalen Hurts or what have you. Sam Howell, according to his vision and his mind, will be the best quarterback in the NFC East. But that's through his vision, right? That's my guy Louis T. Shout out to him, right? You know, but that's just how it goes. You know, sometimes you get clouded with your guys. But what I'm saying is collectively is, well, there was no objectivity from Louis T. Hey, how y'all feel about Sam Howell, too, by the way? I never told you guys or asked you guys about that. How do y'all feel about Sam Howell? Is that even his name? You know, he's going to be good? Okay, Sean Black. But is he going to be the best quarterback in this division? And he based upon it about what he did against us in the last game. He's okay. This Kenyatta. Okay, all right. Well, we'll see then. Maybe he's right. Yeah. Maybe he is right. Let's listen to more of Charles Davis, man.
In the old days, we had a trump card. You know what the trump card was? It was all 22 tape. When they would say they saw, you go, hold it a minute. I watched 5 games of all 22. I'm way ahead of you. And they didn't have an answer for that. Now they volley back with, well, really? I watched 10 of his games. You know? And let's be honest about it. Maybe they're watching it with a different eye than we're watching it. Maybe they're not seeing it the way we're seeing it. Maybe.
Let me stop it. Now, yeah. I've seen some people say, hey, he's more accurate than Dak. You know, okay, all right. We'll find out. In his first game, he was 19 attempts for 168 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 INT. So we'll find out, man. So are you willing to put your house up? I'm willing. I put it like this. I'm willing to put my house up, you know, that Sam Howell is not better than Dak. But are you willing to put your house up that Sam Howell is better than Dak? Come on. Let me know. Let me know. House for a house. Let me know. If you hate Dak that much, put your house up. Put your house up on Sam Howell. I'll put mine up. You know what I'm saying? We'll put out the paperwork and everything. Come on. He like, man, no, I wasn't ready for that law. I was just playing, man. You know, I like Sam, but I don't like him that much, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Wait him at. Let him hang. Let him hang over here, man. Are you willing? Are you willing to put money up that Sam Howell is better than Dak? Are you willing to do that? Come on. I'm ready. Yeah, come on, let's make up small wages. And so they try to, boy, y'all backpedaling like Prime now. Hey, man, you know, I like Sam. I don't hate Dak that much. Now, come on. See, it sounds good when you're by yourself. You know, you may think you sound like Luther, but then when you start singing, then you start hearing, nah, dog. Nah, dog. Hush that dog up, man. He's sounding terrible over there, man. Let's listen to more of what Charles Davis said, man. Let's go.
They're seeing things they're not supposed to see or don't really understand, or sometimes they do. But in any event, they're convinced that they're on the same level with us. And I'll just leave it here. I think most people are pretty smart to know that what the people do on Sundays or even Saturdays, they can't do. Mm-hmm. Right? But are you going to really be able to convince anyone in this day and age that they can't pick out who a good player is versus a player that's not as good? The answer is no.
Right.
No. Absolutely no. They absolutely sit there and go, whatever Charles Davis says, I can do it better.
True.
We deal with that in our day-to-day jobs too, Charles.
We do, absolutely. But in this case, it's a lot harder to make the case against them that they're going to buy, because they have the access to information essentially like we do, other than probably the best relationships like you were able to form, Shane.
Charles, give us.
All right, so before they go into that, what he's breaking down is you can watch 4 or 5 tapes on a guy, right, and break that tape down and say, hey, this is what this guy can do, X, Y, and Z, right, or A to Z, basically. You can literally look at that, but the other information, the medical records, the 101 behind the scene interviews, do he got a bad case of off the field issues, right? Do he drink and drive? Do he hang around the wrong crowds? Those are things that you have to do more and more research on. Or can you call up the coach and have a sit down, have a 101, or they are willing to come to your studios and sit down in your chair to go over those things. That's the last card that the old media have. New media, shoot, we have access. We have the ability to break down film. One can argue, if you really want to stretch it, you may have the ability in the future, to pick up the phone and call coach and say, hey, get him on the phone right now. You know what I'm saying? Get John David on the phone right now. Just pull out any random name. Or get Mozzie on the phone. Get these guys on the phone right now so I can sit down and have a conversation with them. And what's opening this all the way up is the things of like what Pat McAfee is doing. New media, man, it's just crazy. Like Pat McAfee can literally, he can interview Aaron Rodgers now, right? Have a whole setup. And then tomorrow he can call Tony Romo and have a whole setup there. Be on the phone, have a 3-way call between Peyton Manning, Tony Romo, and that's where the new media is going. And some of the ways, whereas even though they got a little spark to it, it still seems a little forced. Ain't nothing like what we do on the underground. What seems forced a little bit and is out for the views is what Stephen A. Smith is doing. And I ain't throwing no shade at him. But it seems as if, though, his channel is a little forced, I like the laid back. The Shay Club, Shay. Hey, man, as much as I disagree with Shay Sharp, man, his platform, his podcast go hard, man. Him and Steve Harvey the other day, man, almost brought tears to my eyes, man, just listening to how raw talk is, man. Come pour up you a little hand, you pour up a little hand, we gonna sit down and talk it, That stuff go hard, man, and that is the way of the new media, right? None of this reading scripts and forced stuff, man. And shout out to the Pivot podcast, All the Smoke podcast, all of those boys, man, do a great job. And No Jumper podcast go hard too. Yeah, here's my $2 bet, Jay Pierce. Damn. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you, man. That A14 better than bias. Yeah. Man, that was a dope podcast with Steve Harvey. Yes, indeed, man. It touched a soft spot in my heart. When Steve Harvey talking about he was homeless, shoot. sleeping out his car, man, shoot. I didn't have that idea. I was in Mississippi with mine, so they didn't have no Ritz Carlton hotel that I can pull up in. Shoot, nah. But what the podcast revealed to me is a lot of us going through the same issues. A lot of us going through the same problems. A lot of us take less to be where you at, and God is working through you so that when you get to where you supposed to be at, it just goes like this. It goes so fast. It goes so fast that now that you are in the place that God designed you to be at, you done already learned from where you came from. How many people like that in the chat right now, right? Went through some beans and rice and beans situation. Now, shoot, you can go to the grocery store and there ain't nothing you can't buy in there now because you blessed. Ain't nothing you can't buy. It's not a car when you go to that car lot that you can't get approved for on a loan at least, but it's not a car that you can go to and say, hey, here's $15,000 down, right? Or here's $20,000 down, but you had to go through the other process before you got to that level. Man, Steve Harvey go hard, man. LT says, Jay Pierce, we got to bet $2 Dak versus Howell percentages. Appreciate y'all, man. Shout out to y'all, man.
Damn.
Club Shay is nice, man. Jay Pierce, appreciate you, man. I didn't say Sam Howell was better. I said he is more accurate than Dak. That was the bet. Oh, that was the bet. Okay. So what determines accuracy? Quarterback completion percentages and QBR. So since Dak Prescott been in the league, ladies and gentlemen, he is third all time. You know what I'm saying? So I'm talking about third all time, third amongst those that's right now active. My bad. He's eighth all time. So if the Washington team can get the productions that Dak Prescott had from their first 7 years, we are in absolute trouble in Dallas land collectively. If the Washington team get a Sam Howell who throws a better completion percentage in QBR than Rain Dakota Prescott, the Eagles in trouble, the Giants in trouble, and the Cowboys are in trouble. That means that the Washington team, especially with Eric Bieniemy and all of those weapons they got, they ain't fighting for weapons. Sam Howell is coming into a system and a scheme with a legit running back and 3 wide receivers that you can legitimately say that those boys got high upside. Dotson, I love that kid. Scary Terry, even though he's not that scary, right? And Curtis, Samuel, right? Those are not the weapons that we had over here on a consistent basis. So if that's the case in the scenario, sure, the Washington team, maybe Louis T is right. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Louis T is right. If that the case. Yes, indeed. Yeah, so bet that the percentage versus QBR. Let me know. Yeah. But accuracy, that falls all under that. Let me just tell you the shortcut way, man. Sam Howell ain't better than Dak Prescott. Let me just tell you the shortcut way. You can pick apart these certain things, but he just ain't better, man. Now, he did have a good game, not a great game, this last game versus the Cowboys, but we all declared that we were showing very, very much so vanilla stuff. DC for life, $10 super chat. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Let's go.
What's your thoughts on this Cowboys class after the weekend?
I think it's a class filled with good players, and this is what you get when you're picking, at 26 nowadays, unless you're going to make some moves. And that's what you want to do. You want to be picking at 26, 27, 28, 29,
True.
33. Why? Because that means you're in the mix. That means you're fighting for the whole deal. Yeah, it's a down cycle when you're picking, because you'd love to be picking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But unless you've made a trade, and unless you pull off what Philadelphia did, right, to make the trade the year before, and then New Orleans goes in the tank, and you're like, great, we got to pick at 10. No one saw that one coming. Oh yeah, we got our own at 30 because we were in the Super Bowl. That's pretty spectacular.
True that.
This Cowboys class, they filled a lot of needs in my mind, right? Because Mozzie Smith going defensive tackle, you're in a division where you know Philadelphia is going to run the ball. Here comes Saquon Barkley. Whatever the contract is, you expect him to line up for the Giants, right? So he's going to come at you and run at it. In D.C., they got two good runners, Robinson, who went through everything last year and did such a great job, and the young man out of Memphis State, I don't know why his name is Antonio Gibson. So you know they're going to come at you running the football. The NFC East still.
Yeah, just to let people know, this is what I have coming out of the NFC East. And you can call me biased, however you want to call it. I literally said that like 4 or 5 weeks ago. Cowboys finishing number 1, Washington team number 2. And the reason why I said that, because I'm looking at the team and I'm looking at if Eric Bieniemy, who in the last, 5 to 6 years took his team to 3 Super Bowls, right? Regardless of whether or not he was just holding the clipboard or actually calling the plays. He's been to 3 Super Bowls within the last 5 to 6 years. On top of that, you got legitimate guys. Robinson, he ain't no one to sneeze at. Gibson, shout out to him. I think that they're going to still add another weapon to that running back room. And on top of that, you got some guys, man, that I kind of like. I like Logan Thomas if he can fool around and stay healthy. Then you got, I just went over the wide receivers. And we just talking about the offensive side. Now, the defensive side of the coin, if you really think about it, if you look at what they can do with those Bama boys in the inside road tide, and they added more and more pieces, for their defense, they went and added some things in the draft to help solidify their DB room, right? Didn't they get my guy from Mississippi? Did they get Emmanuel Sanders? I could be wrong, or did they get Deonte Banks? I think the Giants got Deonte Banks, right? They went and got one of the best DBs out of this draft, who's a ball hawk. He need a sandwich, though. He need a sandwich. But now he's going to come into a system where that's what they know. They know defense over there. And if that coach can get his head out of his you-know-what and just focus in on defense and let Eric Bieniemy, EB, just do the offense, it could be a good situation for them. And you always know, ladies and gentlemen, you always know this, that a team that won their last game, regardless of not whether they went to the playoff or not, that's what they're going to say. They going into this thing saying, hey, we beat the Cowboys, who was arguably one of the hotter teams going into the season, right? To the postseason. And they can literally look at everybody in their eyes and say, hey, they beat the Eagles, who went to the Super Bowl. They can literally look into the Emmanuel Forbes, yeah. Not like that. We appreciate you, though. Yeah, so it could be a situation for that. Did I say Emmanuel Sanders? Emmanuel Forbes. Yeah. But you guys get what I'm saying, right? So those are things that you can look back at if you're a Washington guy watching this right now. Washington on paper have great defense. This is from Maxwell. Well, Washington, their front still gonna be nice. That's just what it is. And I'm not giving them so much praises. Shout out to the Washington team. At least they're not out here. At least they're not out here always in the chat talking about some nonsense like the Eagles.
It's a big boy pants division. People want to line up and check you out. Mozzie Smith fills that need. Luke Schoonmaker, the tight end, obviously there were opportunities for a tight end earlier to fill the Dalton Schultz role.
Let me say this one time. You finna go over Schoonmaker, you finna go over these guys, but I want to say this. Shout out to my guy Sam Jordan. Dak dominates the NFC East. You're right. And teams in the NFC East been drafting to stop Dak Prescott. I get it. The opposing forces will say they didn't, but they've been drafting to stop Dak Prescott. But on the front end, they was drafting to stop Ezekiel Elliott. And a lot of people who's on surface level will not understand what I'm saying. The Bama boys exist because of Dak. Dexter Lawrence and all of those boys that the Giants went and got existed because of Ezekiel Elliott, right? Bama boys existed because of Ezekiel Elliott, and those boys on the front for the Giants existing now because of Ezekiel Elliott. Now they still in contracts or what have you, but that's just how it goes. That's why the Giants went and made a trade to go get their interior guy. That's why they went and drafted Dexter Lawrence. And y'all remember, even with the Eagles, they were sitting there saying, even when they went many moons ago to get Jerrigan and re-up those contracts for the interior, they thought themselves, they thought, and they said, let's talk ourselves into drafting up front. Let's make Dak one-dimensional. Let's force him. Let's force him to pass on the outside. And then in 2018, and I'll say between 18 and 19, Dak finally learned how to defeat when they had a loaded box. And teams veered off from stopping the run to stopping the quarterback, hence dropping 6 and 7 in coverage. Oh, what did they do? All of those teams went and got DBs. They went and got coverage guys. They went and got guys that can make play on the ball. Slay, all of those boys. Even they kind of moved the furniture around for the Eagles. They went and got Slay. He's not a homegrown guy, and the other kid who went from the Giants over to the Eagles. What's his name? What's that kid's name? He keep getting burned. He keep getting burned by my guy CeeDee Lamb. What's his name? But we burn him anyway, you know. But it goes to show you that a lot of teams, they draft to beat Dak, and we're 27. What Dak record is? 27-7. He's 27-7 in the NFC East. What's that kid's name? Bradbury. Appreciate you, man, having the brain tease. I'm about to say Baker, but Baker went somewhere else. But Bradbury, yeah, they got those boys to slow down us. The name of the game is Burnt. Yeah. I should have just said Burnt, you know. Brad Burnt, you know. Burnberry, yeah. So, and granted, the success in the last 7 years, if you want to give the Eagles the cookie, because they won the Super Bowl in 2017, right? And they just came up out of a Super Bowl. And if you want to give them a cookie for that, give them that cookie. Lo and behold, they deserve that cookie, right? But also remind them, it's not easy like they thought it would be, right? It's been 5 to 6 years since they won that Super Bowl. You can wipe your eyes and you look up again. It'll be 10 years. It'll be another 20 years. Toastberry, that's a better name. My guy Glenn Caper says, "What the beat the Eagles because of their deep tackles. D tackles matter." Washington football team. I didn't know what that W. I thought you meant what the. Washington football team beat the Eagles because of their defensive tackles. D tackles matter. Yeah. So it's a game of inches. Remember Brandon Fletcher? Dez cooked them. Yes, and ooh, he cooked that brother up, baby. Hey, yes, he did. So here's what I'm going to say. I get it. Naturally, NFC East opposition, Eagles, Washington, Giants, they will all naturally say, man, that Dak Prescott suck. Oh, man, he's terrible. Because for 27 times, he done ripped their hearts out, right? It's equivalent. Like there's like in any other natural world, right? If somebody else, like if it was just any other situation, if the roles were reversed, if Dak Prescott was on the Eagles, right? And if Dak Prescott versus the Dallas Cowboys was 27-7, we would hush our mouths, man. We wouldn't even be talking like this, right? We'd be like, dang, we got to figure out how to beat that brother, you know? We will have to figure out a way. And I think that Dak Prescott done lost only 2 games versus the Washington team. I could be wrong with my numbers, but I think he only lost 2 games in his whole career against the Washington. 2! With that ratio, if you're a Washington guy, you should be hushed. You should be like, man, all right, man, yeah, man, we finally got one. Y'all still far away from 500, you know. In a natural way, right? In any street talk or any, like, if it was any other situation, 27-7 is there's no competition in that, right? But only a fool will sit there and say, hey, we're better. And that, look, God dog, it ties all the way in. Woo! Hey, and that Club Shay. You know, Steve Harvey and Shannon Sharp was talking about critics and criticism. And Steve Harvey said, yeah, I get it. People would throw rocks at me. I'm sitting at the high wall, right? And they throwing rocks up at me. Yeah, I might get hit with them. I might get hit with the rock. It's not going to hurt me as bad as if I go down to their level and they could bust me all across the head with those rocks. Man, I said, whoa, let me write that down in my mental Rolodex. Right? He said that if I come down to their level, they can bust me really good up across the head, you know? So that's the same philosophy, whereas us Cowboys, yes, of course, the Eagle fans and the Eagles community going to be throwing rocks at us, throwing whatever they can. Going to make and try to feel like their 1-4 in the Super Bowl is better than our 5 Super Bowls, and saying that the 3 that they went to in the last 20 years, it felt good. At least they made it to it, you know. But there's in actuality, they're 1-4 or 1-3, some crazy number like that in the Super Bowl. And then when they start adding in, oh, yeah, well, in the 1912, we made it to world championships. Man, there was only 4 teams in the league. I can't make this stuff up, you know, but that's just how it is. And the ones that get hit with the rock, y'all go run and tell me. Y'all go run and say, hey, yeah, man, the Eagles do have a point. No, man, we sitting high and looking low. They sitting low and looking high. They the oldest team in the division with the less. You know, at least they should have the most, but they have the less. We are the younger brother, and they looking up. They've been looking up for so long, they got stomach muscles on their necks. Yeah. Eagles for life. Dak is 2-4 in the playoffs. He's 2-4. But we don't know your quarterback record because you know ours. Because you follow the Cowboys. You might as well be a Cowboy fan in disguise. Matter of fact, I promise you, if you are here and if you're not a Cowboy fan, then you are one now. You know what I'm saying? You are a fan of the Cowboys. You just probably one of the fickle fans that jumped off the train and I guess say 02, 03. But in the 90s, you probably had a whole Cowboys gear. If you think I'm lying, look up Kevin Hart. He got a whole Cowboys hat, shirt, all on documentaries, but he can't find a Cowboys gear on him now. He just jumped ship. He go to what things are favorable to him now. You know, that's what it is. They know our history more than we know theirs. Why? Because they looking up to us, saying that if we can only just get close to them. See, they so fixated on looking up at us that they got to understand that there's natural orders to this. You don't fight bison when you first fight in street fight. You got to fight all of the other guys. You got to go through Zangief, Blanca, you know what I'm saying? What's the other guy that climbed the doggone fence and jump off? Y'all haven't even made it to him yet. Y'all haven't passed Washington. Y'all haven't passed the Giants. And yes, you can blow the dust off of all trophies. You notice we got S at the end of ours. The Hollisum, they haven't. Look, Ken Owen. They haven't got past the Hollisum yet.
Damn.
You know, they haven't got past him. Zangief with the hairy chest. E. Honda. You haven't got past him yet. You done beat Chun Li, and now you think you done did something. Vega is his name. Appreciate you. They done beat one little old person. They didn't even beat Ryu yet. They didn't even beat Ken yet. They done beat Chun Li, and now they think they done did something. Come on, man.
Damn.
I feel like Schoonmaker, in my evaluation, is very similar to what you already have in Ferguson and Hendershot. There's not a lot of difference to me in watching it. I think Ferguson is somewhat undervalued at times. I think he's one of those crafty route runners who finds ways to get open.
Right.
That this year may emerge more because he might be more of a tight end one when it's all said and done, unless the Cowboys make other moves. So I'm going to bank on my evaluation of him. I don't care what his timing was. I don't care about that. You plug in his tapes at Wisconsin and watch him versus defenses, and he finds holes, he finds seams. He has a great sense of space and understanding what people are doing, leverage, all of that. Overshawn is exactly what you're looking for in terms of how the game is played nowadays. Former safety moved into linebacker, has the speed to run. We don't worry about size in there anymore. Like Leighton Vander Esch now is almost a dinosaur.
Ooh, Leighton Vander Esch. Don't hit up Leighton like that. You know. Oh my God, he says Eagles fans for life. Please don't kick him up out of here. But the word relevant, if we were not relevant, you wouldn't be here. You know, if we weren't relevant, you wouldn't talk about us, right? But the way you get your vitamin D is keeping Big D in your mouth. So that's why it's relevant. You getting your necessary doses of Big D right now. You love it. I bet you your teeth is white. We got D's all over you so much. You know, I bet you your skin glow because you want to be relevant speaking to the irrelevant if that's the case. No one talks about someone that's not relevant, you know, but they do still talk about things that are very relevant, right? Oh, name me the 90s rap group that people don't talk about. You don't hear them, right? Because they're irrelevant. But you still hear Tupac. You still hear Biggie because they're still relevant because of the things they did when they were alive. So it's quite strange to me that you, my friend, as much feathers as you should have and fly away, that you don't understand the rudiment word of relevant, right? And it's not about the time frame when things were good. People still talk about Yahshua, Yahweh, Jesus Christ, and it was over 2,000 years ago, but it's still relevant to this day. So time frames and references don't mean a hill of beans because the reverence of the relevancy, you are learning something today. God dog, boy, I'm feeling good educating the fool. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy to me. You know, Belle Biv DeVoe, you know, appreciate you, fam, you know, but the relevancy is still relevant because you're still talking about it, right? So that's the natural ways of things. You might want to go run back to your other creators on the Eagles side and see how their relevancy goes over there because the flavor appears to be over here. Boy, because maybe they are not giving you substance in order to maintain your nutrients, but I will provide the Big D information that you can open your mouth wide to suck upon. Baby, dog, boy, I'm killing this brother, man. He over there punching weird. I guarantee you he's sounding like this. Did you get your Big D today? Open wide.
Because he looks like a monster playing inside linebacker. The guy who was closest to him this year in terms of that size and bulk inside is a young man out of Oregon, Sewell, who ended up going, 5th, 6th round to the Bears? Because that type of size and just thumping ability is not what we're looking for in the league nowadays. We're going to play the run, sure, but you're playing the pass a lot more. Fehoko, good pass rusher. You always want to take a productive pass rusher and turn him loose in your lineup. And by the way, I think you guys already know, Isaac Seumalo, who's now in Pittsburgh from Philadelphia, the guard, his father was Fehoko's coach out of San Jose State. I think he's coached 2 of the last 3 or 4 Mountain West Conference Defensive Players of the Year.
Wow.
So he's got something going for him there. Richards, a little depth in the offensive line. You know, Tyron Smith continues to go out there and do it. Yep. But at some point, and Richards really fills in best at right tackle in my mind. And then just going down through, look, Deuce Vaughn is going to be the key draft pick, the emotion, his father. But let's not get it twisted. He can play.
He can.
How he will be utilized, where he will get his opportunities, and how he stands up remains to be seen. But I do see that he has Sproles-like abilities and strength. Now, Sproles was a little bit different because I don't know what Deuce benches, but Darren Sproles was benching 375 coming out of college.
Ooh.
Yeah,
okay? So you throw that rock out there. That's a whole different deal. But I do like the opportunity Deuce Vaughn is going to have, and won't surprise me at all. He's not going to make the team out of pity. He's going to make the team out of ability.
Charles Davis, analyst for CBS and the.
Hey, just for a quick deal here, Deuce Vaughn bench pressed 225 17 times for his height and stature. That is pretty good. 17 reps. We seen. I thought it was somewhere in the draft, an edge rusher couldn't do 17. It was like 15. So one of the guys, I forgot his name, but he was one of the D tackles. He did like 15 reps, 16 reps. I was like, nah, dog, you can't do 225, 15, 17, 18 times. At least a minimum, if you're a D tackle, you got to at least do it 25 times. Now, come on. And if you're a man, if you walk this earth, and if you're in perfect shape and health, you're supposed to at least sometimes in your life before you get into the casket, at least bench press 225 one time, you know. Let me know in the chat what's your reps, man, with 225, you know. Just let me know, man, you know, if you ever did 225. I ain't talking about any other weight but 225. Male or female, if you know, I ain't going to leave y'all out. But 17 times for him, 5'5", man, you know, that is a good situation for him. Let's listen to more of what Charles Davis had to say. Terrence Short says 5 times. Okay. 225 twice. Yeah, Jackie Price. 10 times for Cowboys Gumbo, man. I appreciate you, bro. My guy, man, we got some guys up in here, man. Hard, Honcho, man, 20 reps, you know. So y'all can level with the kid now, you know, so y'all know that 225, that ain't, you know, those plates, man, once you get in the rhythm, I'm talking about coming all the way down to almost your chest. I wouldn't let it hit my chest, man. Come all the way back up, you know. Too bad I'm 37 with bad knees. Appreciate it. But at least one time, man. That's one time, you know what I'm saying? I know the longer your arms, the harder it is to get up there, though. 7 times from JP. JP, appreciate you, fam. You know, in high school, I benched 350. Yep, appreciate you. I got a brother, man. He's an Eagles fan. His name's Bente, man. He throws 450 around, you know. I'm going to show y'all, you know. But it's good. 10 to 12 reps from Dallas Dog, right? I'm for dog sure now. I probably can't even get that thing up one time, probably. I ain't going to even lie to y'all right now. I haven't been in the gym. I just restarted the gym this year, right, this year. But I used to hit the gym in 2020. When 2020 hit, womp, 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 womp. But it's good to get in the gym, get those weights up. But I'm more of the calisthenics, ropes guy now, plyometrics, and I'm more about flexibility now. So, especially since I changed up my diet, you know. So, but it is what it is, man. I really appreciate those who go into the gym, and if you're well off in your 40s like me, all right, you still get around to play around with the weights. But 6 times and you weigh 156, appreciate your Appreciate you, man. Thank you, man. Thank all of y'all. Let's go.
NFL Network. So, quick question for you: there was a lot of hand wringing, a lot of upset Cowboys fans when they saw Jalen Carter went.
Oh yeah. Now we get up on those push-ups, James. Yes, indeed. Me and my brother, man, we have a challenge, man. 100 push-ups a day. So we get up on those push-ups, man. Every now and then, we video each other, video record or what have you, and send it back. Hey, you got your 25 in for this hour? Yeah, I got my 25 in. So, yes, indeed. Baby, it's a marathon, not a race. Yes, indeed, Cowboys gumbo. You got to learn to withstand and stretch it out. This is a young man's game, right? But everybody's a part of it. On another thing, I was watching that Steve Harvey. I'm using this as a reference. The Club Shay. And he asked Steve Harvey, what are some of the things that people would say? Would you like to go back to be 20 again? And Steve Harvey was like, hell no. I like to go back to being 65, right? So he's like 66. And he said, no, he wouldn't want to go all the way back to his 20s. And he broke it down like, the things that he got away with in his 20s. Thank God that, he wasn't making the type of money that he's making now. Right? So everything is for a reason. And then when he was breaking down, I didn't even know that this guy right here.
Well, what I'm saying is that there are known knowns and that there are known unknowns, but there's also unknown unknowns, things we don't know that we don't know.
That guy right there, you hear this voice, Samuel Jackson, he didn't start his career till he was 40. Right? Think of all of the things that Samuel Jackson done since he been on this dimension, right? I mean, doing all type of Marvel movies and things like that. He got a series coming out. I can't wait for that series to come out. So it's like when your time is your time to shine, it will happen. It will flat out happen, man. So, hey, that brought to my attention that we don't know what's around that corner, right? It can be all said and done and over with, or it can just be your in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Yes, indeed. So it's Samuel Jackson, man. Y'all think I be live all the time. Samuel Jackson on all types of movies and everything, man. Samuel Jackson, he's one of my favorite actors, man. Him, Denzel, right? Those are my two favorite right there. Denzel and Samuel. Yeah. That black still looks that's and Morgan Freeman. I like Morgan Freeman too. He's up there too. Gene Hackman. I really like Gene Hackman. I like Will Smith, but he's falling off a little bit. Will need to get back together, man. I used to, the older Will Smith, the mid Will Smith, But I was gonna say is, yeah, Samuel Jackson still looked the same. I think he was on Coming to America, and you can just put that movie in, and you'll see the same Samuel Jackson, Long Kiss Goodnight, etc. It's still the same. Mike Epps, your favorite? Okay, Jamie Foxx, shout out to him.
To the Eagles, and he's a guy who was one of the most talented players in the class, but there's also a reason he slid to 9. I mean, there's definite questions about the work ethic and off the field stuff, but your thoughts on Jalen Carter as the Eagles pick?
Yeah, and it's understandable. Look, if Chicago doesn't trade the pick to Carolina at 1, months ago, Jalen Carter, you remember at that time, I think all of you looked at it and probably saw people with those early mocks. Where was Jalen Carter going? 1 to Chicago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, he was at, and that was before the other stuff kicked in, right? That was before the tragedy in Georgia. Let us not forget 2 people lost their lives. What his role in it, I can't begin to tell you. I know that case has been settled, for lack of a better word. I don't know the proper judicial terms, but I do know that once it was settled and his punishment was given, I did see that it was said this case can no longer be refiled nor retried. So it's done. Okay, now with everything else that goes with it, let's just not forget the 2 people that lost their lives. Then you kick into the other stuff. that goes on. You know, he shows up at his pro day, he's overweight, he's out of shape, he can't finish his workout. When you add all just those things together, and he still goes at 9, does that tell you how talented he is?
That dude is talented, man. Jalen Carter, man, shout out to him. He just went to the wrong team, though. It's kind of hard to just look at that, man, progressions and everything. Him, Jordan Davis. I like Healy, Ringo. Dang, man, all of them went to that doggone Eagles, man. But, yeah, man, it is what it is. Jackie Brown, I see y'all naming all of the actors and actresses. Bernie Mac was a classic, yeah. Chadwick Boseman, but he was really good, man. I thought that he would be one of those guys that you would sit back and say, man, watch his career go. And the Lord had better things in line for him. But he was on his way. Like a real low-rated movie, The Message to the King. Go back and watch that movie, y'all. Man, rest in peace to Chad. And I'm talking about this not even Black Panther. I'm talking about, Message to the King. That movie right there, I love that one, man. He played into it, and it was really good. Who else I really like? What's that guy that played the boxer kid? Jeez. Man, my mind's slipping me today, y'all. The boxer kid, he plays in all of these good movies now. Creed 1, 2, 3. What's that kid now? I like him, too. Played in The Wire and everything. He's pretty dope. I think that if he get his mind straight and stay focused and get things going, he'll be good. He'll be good. He'll be good down the line. He just need to. Yeah, Michael B. Jordan. Man, see, my mind is all in football mode. Michael B. Jordan is pretty good. I just think that he need to get on that hustle, man. Get more and more movies out, man. Yeah. Michael B. Jordan is a really good actor, man. I think that he can be the next one that can everybody be like big box office, big guy that everybody can gravitate to and things like that. I think that when he was dating Lori Harvey, she kind of threw him off a little bit. And I like the kid Idris. I like Idris Elba, too, but Idris, the other guy that played on Snowfall, he's pretty good, too. Damsel, I believe. Yeah, Damsel or whatever, He can be the other actor that everybody loved, too, for years and years to come down the line. See, I done opened up Pandora's box. Now I'm talking about actors. But, all right, we can get back to it, baby. Yeah. Ray Charles, yeah. Jamie Foxx. Shout out to Jamie Foxx, man. 21 Bridges. Oh, woo! Hey, that 21 Bridges, man. They shut down all those bridges, man. Ooh! Try to clock that kingpin inside. Yeah, 21 Bridges is another one. Message to the King, 21 Bridges. Must see TV. Yeah. Yes, indeed. Must see TV. Let's go. Jonathan Majors, I think he's over with now. They counseling him. He gonna be out, unless he got a hell of a PR team, and they counseling him. Kevin Costner, the GOAT. Yup, man. Y'all on it, man. Kevin Costner is good, but he don't got nothing on Nicolas Cage. Right. Nicolas Cage is that dude, dog. I like Nicolas Cage. Gone in 60 Seconds, one of my favorite movies, better than all of the final Fast and the Furious. Better. That's the best car racing movies, hand down. Gone in 60 Seconds. That and the Bourne series, Jason Bourne series, whenever that dude is in the car, whatever his name is. All right, man, let me get on in here. Let me go and get into this thing.
Because you add all those things together with a normal person, the slide just continues, right? But I've made this point all the way through, and I continue to stand by it. Think back in the past with all the people we talked about that said, oh, God, they've got all kind of issues, and, they may slide. Warren Sapp, I think that there was an issue right during the time of his draft, and I think it was, might have involved, drugs and what have you. I can't remember exactly what it was, but he might have failed the test or whatever it was. He went 11. Okay, we all sat there one night. I forgot where we were, what draft it was. Laramie Tunsil in a gas mask, smoke billowing, Confederate flag behind him. The optics could not have been worse. And remember all.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. Hold on. Jason Statham. Yeah, he's up there too. He's another guy that don't age, man. He kind of got that age, and he stays right there at that age, like one of those guys like Bruce Willis. Just got the Mr. Piece at the top of the hair with the sides, Yeah. And I hope Bruce Willis pulled together, man. I heard he's going through some things. Yeah. Bruce Willis, one of my guys too. I can watch Die Hard with a vengeance on repeat. Like him, Bruce Willis, and Samuel Jackson in that movie. Woo! You can watch it on a repeat, man. You can watch Die Hard 1 and the one with Samuel Jackson. Those two, if you come by my house, ever come by my house, we going to put that in. We will grab some cold ones. We'll sit back, talk some Cowboys talk. That's going to be playing in the background. And y'all already know what else going to be playing in the background. Y'all already know. Come on, man. After those two movies go through. Riggs! I get too old for this, Riggs. Yeah, baby, y'all gonna see that one, man. Y'all gonna see that one playing in the background, and that's what it's gonna be. We gonna be chilling, talking all talk, and I'm gonna put my lethal weapon on, man. We can go through. Look, this is what it is. Hanging with Law. We gonna watch Die Hard 1 and then Die Hard with a Vengeance. All of the lethal weapons. All of the lethal weapons, and then after the lethal weapons, man, we can watch literally all of the Rush Hours. You know what I'm saying? With Chris Tucker, it was just to have some dry release comedy in it. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna watch all of. Look, y'all, let me know. You can't get tired of watching Rush Hour 1, 2, or 3, right? All bad movies. Come on, Big Henry. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Oh, man, come on. Yeah, y'all crazy, man.
The texts that were coming out, they were being released by whoever was upset at that moment, wanting to get at this kid.
All the Fridays, too.
And it was all rolling out. It was happening in real time on draft night. He went 13. Mm-hmm. So my point being, we can talk about slides all we want. People learned their lesson on sliding on Randy Moss, didn't they?
Yep.
Okay, he went to 25, and never was Randy Moss suspended by the league. Never was Randy Moss in that kind of issue. Did he have trouble with other things? Sure. But that was more controversy than it was trouble.
No doubt, man. All right, man, we about to – boy, we didn't kill this episode, man. I appreciate everybody for tuning in to listen to this straight up without me pausing and rewinding. Click on that link right there. Take you to Charles Davis' interview on 105.3 The Fan. Appreciate 105.3 The Fan for all that they do. Charles Davis is a guy that if you're hiding under a rock, if you don't understand and know football, look up Charles Davis and CBS, and you would see his face, name, and logo. I think that he gave a fair and balanced analysis of his players. He gave a fair analysis of Jalen Carter just then. We hope that he is right and wrong at the same time. We don't want him to be Hall of Famer Jalen Carter over there for the Eagles, but, we hope he's right and wrong at the same time, if that can make any sense. Maxwell says Sylvester Stallone, come on, man. Eagles fan, come on. Hey, Sylvester Stallone, he will wear that trench coat in all of his movies, that same trench coat. Go watch it and count how many times he get hit. He ain't gonna never get hit. Sylvester Stallone. I don't know, my bad. Steven Seagal, I'm getting them mixed up. Sylvester Stallone, he's good. But Steven Seagal, I meant to say, he'll wear that trench coat and he would get to fighting and he would never get hit. Y'all ever seen that? Steven Seagal, he would be in those movies and never get hit. Never, ever get hit. All right, man. All right, so let me get off of the movies, man, since I messed up Sylvester Stallone with Steven Seagal. So that let me know that I need to get off of the movies. But I wanted to pull up the players' numbers. These are the numbers of the players. And if you like numbers, let me know. But Mozzie, he will be wearing 58. Luke Schoonmaker, he will be wearing number 86. Overshown, he will be wearing 35. Junior Fihoko, he want to be called Junior, right? So, respect to that man, what he wants, because I think last year we had a guy, Sam Williams, I forgot his first name, but he wanted to go by his first name, and then it got changed up, and then he's like, "No, you can call me Sam." Like, wait a minute. So it is what it is. So Junior Fihoko, Sim Richards, 76. There should be some film analysis. I think Vach Lombardi did a film review on him. You guys be sure to check out Sim Richards. You got Eric Scott Jr. He'll be wearing 37. Deuce Vaughn, he tweeted out and let everybody know, or the media let everybody know, that he knew the ramifications of 22. And he said that, you know what, I'm not finna be asking for that number. I'm not even finna ask for it, So that's why you see 42 out there. And then Jalen Brooks, he'd be wearing 83. Now, my favorite numbers out of all of these lists, I like the 86 number on Schoonmaker. I like the 93 number on Junior. 76, I like that number on him. It's going to be a nice number for him. And Jalen Brooks got a good number, 83. Those are the numbers that I like. 58 is it fits Mozzie. So I say, yeah, I like 58 on Mozzie. The numbers that I don't like on these guys, and they're going to have to earn every grain of salt for it, is Eric Scott, Deuce Vaughn, and Overshown. They're going to have to make their name be known and get the number that they want. They're going to have to come in this thing hungry, not saying that they're not, and I'm quite sure that they probably don't want that number. Eric Scott probably say, man, I'm just glad to be in the NFL, man. Give me that 37, man. It could have been 73. It could have been any number, man. I would have been out there as a DB wearing that. Law, do you feel that Jalen Carter is going to be able to handle the mental aspect of his career/life? Well, I can't put him into a box, because I think that what happened was very, very. It's what young kids do, right? I think he was, and I'm allegedly, I think he was racing his car, driving reckless with his car, or something of that nature happened, and a teammate passed away and another lady passed away, right? And we just went through that with Sam Williams. Thank be to God that no one perished in that particular situation. You're young, you're flying, you're driving, some things happen, you hit something, and thank God that no one passed away, right? So I don't know what goes on in a person's mind, right, as far as the ability to obtain the knowledge and information that's thrusted upon him, plus the day-to-day living, if there's any guilt in these sorts of things with it. So all I can say is to play football in general is a tall task. So I can tell you that I hope he get out there and be a guy that can, make the team and play. I hope he ain't just all class. You know what I'm saying? World class, for our sake. Or he could be one of those guys that's good, but when they play us, he just play terrible. I want that to be the situation. But that's just me selfishly speaking. And the same with Kelvin Joseph. He had a lot on his mind all off season, all last year, right? You can see it, the countenance on his face, something pulling at this kid and his psyche and his mind, right? So this could be the very much so the last year you see Kelvin Joseph. Yeah. I remember Josh Brent. Sometimes, man, you can see the eyes of a person. Gateway. You can see what's going on with that person, right? So even with that, Josh Brent, if you ever got a chance to see him in person, you can see the countenance and the things that he was going through, right? So that's just what it is, man. Josh Brent, Cowboys did a wonderful job of handling that situation. All right, so the hotline for your mind is wide open. 657-390-7391. This will be the hotline for your mind. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. The name is Law Nation.
There are 3 participants in the conference. Please announce yourself. All participants are muted.
In the order they receive. We only got 4, so we ain't going to keep it open live for long. Y'all jump on in. Darius from the 214. You're live.
La B-Dog, what's happening with you, man?
Man, it's your world, fam. Holla at me.
Man, I just wanted to tell you, first of all, and I know people showed you love. Man, yesterday you had a phenomenal show, man. You had
Appreciate
a freaking phenomenal show. You did your thing. The other thing I want to tell you was you did your thing the whole draft process. I just want to let you know that, man. Boy, you going crazy out here. So
thank you, man.
So now that that's out the way, let's get to the bullshit. I had so much to say. I had so much to say.
Hey, wait a minute. Let me pull her out, man. She's up there now. Talk to him. You know what I'm saying?
my bad, man. So my whole thing was just basically, so basically was with the draft.
Mm-hmm.
The Cowboys is reaching, man.
Mm.
It's flat. Now this is what I'm gonna say. Now I know some people gonna try to call in after me. I don't know what that guy is talking about. Shut up. Let me explain to you. Let me explain to you what I'm talking about. Now I know last year we got Tyler Smith, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was a hit.
Okay.
But Tyler Smith wasn't on anybody's draft board. So you hit on the reach. So like that's what I don't like that the Dallas Cowboys do. They don't go by your philosophy of BPA. They go by smartest man in the room. If that makes sense.
Okay.
So it's like it was a few people who was actually BPA. I'm gonna talk about last year's draft and this year's draft. It was a few people that was BPA. If they was going by BPA this year, it was Jalen Petrie, he was available, and Kenneth Walker III, he was available.
Mm-hmm. At what round or at what round and what pick?
That was the first.
Last year.
That was the first round. Yeah, of last year. This year, now because I'm gonna go off of Dan Quinn, because Dan Quinn loved Mozzie, and I'm gonna go off of Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons swears by Mozzie, so I'm gonna go off of that because that's the only thing I got to go off of. But if they going by laws, by Law Nations, BPA,
mm-hmm.
Nolan Smith was there, Miles Murphy was there, Brian Breesy was there. Like, it was players there if you're going by BPA. You feel what I'm saying?
Well, right. Now, hold on. When you say that, out of that list, now, Nolan Smith, if I was in the room, of course, I would have drafted Nolan Smith over Mozzie Smith. But it goes back to, like, that's BPA, right? But from my perspectives, right? But I will also look at it like this. If we go on core, then remember I said I wouldn't be mad at that philosophy because we haven't addressed that. We haven't addressed that philosophy in many of moons. And you can have all of the muscles on the outside, but if you don't have no core, shoot, you'll fall to your knees. Remember Ryan Garcia? He fell to his knees. Yeah. So you gotta make sure you're inside, man. Your core is together.
Don't do my boy like that, man.
I ain't gonna do Ryan Garcia like that. But that body shot's hurt though. You can tell, man. That liver shot, you gotta make sure it's together, man. Yep. But go ahead, go with your analysis. Go with your approach.
And if you recall, like I want to say that I called you right before the whole draft process started. And do you remember the first position group that you started to dig into? Well, do you remember that?
Nah, I don't remember, man.
I remember verbatim.
Yeah,
It was
you
the
go.
cornerbacks.
Cornerbacks,
And that
okay.
was a need. That was a need for us.
Mm-hmm.
And then the first person I said that came out of my mouth, it was Joey Porter and Cam Smith. And immediately when I said that, you was like, they gone. I said, Bilal, look, they say that now, but they will fall. Like they have a propensity to fall. And sure enough, Joey Porter was there, Cam Smith was there.
Right.
So and then we ain't, come on now, Schoolmaker. Like you got to lick your fingers and flip through your pages on your draft sheet to find who Schoolmaker.
Right. Now, here's my thoughts on this. And I don't know if I was talking to you or someone. I said if tags are touching, right, and you got multiple guys tags touching, then I wouldn't have been mad at the Cowboys moving back, because there could have been a possibility if they traded back a little bit, right, that they could have literally got Mozzie in Porter, right, or Mozzie in this Cam Smith kid. It just depended on how much they are willing to slide back. Now, according to the Chiefs, they said that they really wanted Mozzie, right? And I don't know if I'm taking that only with a grain of salt, because you never know how draft things work. People say anything and everything once the draft is over with, but that'll be the price that I'm willing to take. Because I said that Porter, a whole slew of those guys, they won't make it all the way back to the 58.
And then too, this is my last thing on this. Is just basically for that second round pick. Look how Tank Dell was available, A-Chain was available, Jalen Hyatt was available, Darnell Washington, Saki Aki, and Jordan Battle. Come on, fam. And you telling me Schoolmaker, bruh? Like, so this is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We just gonna keep it all the way 100.
Keep it 100 then.
The Eagles had the best draft class. They did. It didn't matter who you could have put. The Rams. Forget that it's the Eagles. Whoever made whoever got Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith, Eli Ricks, and Keely Ringo, if you get all of that, is a phenomenal draft. We just gonna keep it all the way 100, and we got to get them where credit is due. That just is what it is. And I'm trying to figure out, bruh, it's not that hard. This cannot be this hard. Like being a GM. I need a job for a G. To be a GM.
Put it in on your resume, and then go and put your application in. But here's the thought, though. Here's the thought. With all of those guys that you mentioned and named, yeah, they may be good players, but who's coaching them? You know, they're good at their collegiate program, and the possibility that's the area. It's like the iceberg theory, right? It's the things that you don't see. Right, so maybe hear me out. Quinn can get more out of Mozzie, and he can get more out of Eric Scott and all of those guys that we got, juxtaposed to the guys that the Eagles got. So this would be a good study lesson to see down the line on how the Eagles draft picks would turn out juxtaposed to our draft picks.
Absolutely, and this is the last thing I'm gonna say. By the way. Me and Boss, we had similar, assessments on two cornerbacks. He liked Clark Phillips III. I love Clark Phillips. And he liked Eli Ricks. Eli Ricks went to the Eagles, man. But
he ended up going to the Eagles? I didn't know that.
No, he didn't have him going to the Eagles, but Eli Ricks went undrafted, and then the Eagles picked him up.
That's a good pickup for them. Damn, that's a damn good pickup for them, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so just overall, I'm gonna stop letting this is my last year doing this. I'm gonna stop letting the Cowboys do this to me, because when I get this emotionally invested into this, and then I sit there and I see all those players fall to us that wasn't projected to, like, I get so emotionally bothered. It's not good for my mental health. Just chill, stop letting them do it. I'm finna stop letting them do it. I'm not finna let them do this to me no more. This is my last year letting them do it, man.
So let me ask you this though. And I got the panic man up on you, man. You know what I'm saying? He's been shaking on my phone like he's going through the seizure, man. So he's just shaking, dog. He's shaking. So I'm gonna have to do something to calm him down a little bit. But I'm gonna tell you this though. If the Cowboys sweep the Eagles, would you feel a little bit better?
I would feel phenomenal. This is what I'm saying. I would that. First of all, that's definitely probably what's gonna happen because the Eagles really don't want smoke. I don't give a. At the end of the day, y'all still the Eagles.
You still the
Calm
Eagles.
down.
Right.
They still the Eagles. Get your ass on. So you still trash. Like you know what I'm saying. At the end of the day, but they had the better draft. Imagine if we could have a draft similar to what they had.
Put it like this.
That much better.
Put it like this, and I just gotta say it this way, Darius. Cause I feel you, man. Cause this is your time to vent, and this is a therapeutic session right now. It's a therapy session going on right now. But no cap, right? But last year around this time, no one knew who Daron Bland was, right? They probably would have graded that grade like, man, this dude, man, he all right. You know, he got measurables, but he ain't nobody to give a good grade to. But if we were to do the redraft now, I'm quite sure he'd probably be first or second round now. You know what I'm saying? He had 5 INTs. Him and Sauce Gardner and Tyreek Woolen is all in the same room. Can shake each other's hand. It's just that we got this brother way in the 5th round. So who's going to be the Daron Bland now? You see, it's the things that we can't see, the iceberg theory. You know what I'm saying? It could be Deuce Vaughn.
It's going to be Deuce.
It's going to see. So if you pick up Eric Scott Jr. and you put him on Ohio State or you put him on Georgia Bulldogs, maybe it would have felt different. But the brother's from Mississippi, man. You know what I'm saying? University of Mississippi. Down there where Brett Favre went to, you know what I'm saying? You know, Hattiesburg. So,
by the way, the Commanders got your guy. The Commanders.
Yeah. He got the other. Yeah, he's an enemy now. You know. Shout out to the Forbes family. They reached out to me, but he's an enemy now. But I appreciate you, bro. Thank you so much for calling in, man.
It's all good. Keep doing your thing, my guy.
No doubt, man. That's why the draft. It will have you thinking that you're sounding good, right? It will have you thinking that you singing, you're hitting all of the notes right, and it will have you thinking all of the good stuff is happening. Where my dog at? You know, where my dog at? It will have you thinking, who in the shower sound like Luther, right? All of y'all sound like Luther in the shower. But when it's time for you to get it, and when you record yourself, this is what you really sound like. This is what you really sound like. Here you go. Georgia Bulldogs, what happened? So put the panic thing down, man. You know, it may sound like you're sounding good right now because there's no tangible evidence. There are known knowns and known unknowns. But in the end of the day,
because you don't have evidence that something does exist does not mean that you have evidence that something doesn't exist. Well, what I'm saying is that there are known knowns and that there are known unknowns, but there's also unknown unknowns, things we don't know that we don't know.
There's things that we just don't know. So you can say, hey, man, in this draft, I got everything that I want, right? All of the shiny toys, the bells and whistles. But when it's time to play and it's time to teach these guys, because at the level that they are at, and I'm not taking away from anybody, I even think that the Giants had a good draft. But and they got a good coach over there. But when you're not able to take him from here to here, it don't mean a hill of beans, right? Look, can somebody, like all of the stuff that they said that Jordan Davis was going to do last year, and excuse me, I do know that it takes 3 years for a guy to develop and all of that stuff. But what did he do on the field? He's shaking just like the Panic Man, right? God dog, they had to go get Sue, Linville Joseph, Tupac. They had to go grab Biggie, you know what I'm saying? They had to grab everybody, right? And the guy that they drafted didn't even get a chance to see the field enough, right? So let me tell y'all once again, just get your hand off the panic button. You know what I mean? Let me let my guy in, Glenn. Law, you're live.
Hey, what's good, Law?
Not much, man.
So, I guess, first of all, you did a great job in covering the draft over the weekend. I was locked into you guys on YouTube, and I pretty much gave up on the 3 and 4 letter network. So congrats to
you.
you guys and doing the draft coverage.
We thank you.
So I guess I'm not going to talk about round one because I do think the Cowboys definitely listen. Sometimes best player available and the position of need do line up, and I think that this was a spot that this is our chance to get a guy who can play the position right now. Maybe not. He's not going to reach his peak, obviously, in year one.
You definitely don't want that to happen either. You're right.
No.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing, really, and this was my take really from the draft as a whole. I see high floors with just about every guy they picked. I mean, just from what I've seen and what I know. In other words, I don't see bust rate really with our first handful of picks. I mean, anything is possible, but I think that you can question how high the ceiling is with these guys. But with that first round pick, I can tell you this: that RPO game, if you don't stop that middle, you have no chance of stopping that, because that's the first area that we get tested is in that middle.
Right.
And there was an absolute scouting report that was going around that caused us to go get Hankins. And once we got him, it was a world of difference, right? Because if you can stop that middle, you can prevent having guys pinch down and then becoming susceptible to the outside, because that's the only way we were getting beat on the outside, is because everybody was worried about that middle. I think we're gonna put an end to that. But I think the controversy in this draft really does revolve around that round 2 pick. And my question to you is this: why? And by the way, I don't necessarily have a problem with the pick, but I do have a question that's a bit of a head scratcher. Why didn't the Cowboys address tight end 2, if you will, in the offseason prior to the draft? Because to me, if you don't plug the holes before the draft, you leave yourself wide open to taking a quote unquote position of need as opposed to BPA. Why didn't we address tight end 2 prior to the draft?
Yeah, I think you could have gotten Hayden Hurst. I think he was out there on the streets once again for cheap. But I think that this is even cheaper, right? Hayden Hurst would have cost you about $2 to $3 million. This kid in his next 3 years probably cost you that. So I think that they were high on Ferguson and Hendershot. Sean McCewing is a guy that we keep leaving out of the mix because he's just as good as a rotational situation for us at tight end. Remember, it was the 4 tight end set, the 13 and 14 personnel that we were able to do. It's just that Sean McCewing never got a chance to showcase all of his talent because the unexpectations of Peyton Hendershot grew so quickly. His ability to get separation, to run like a wide receiver, I think that is the secret weapon out of all of these guys, Peyton Hendershot.
Okay, so money may have played a role in not going to the open market prior to the draft and getting a tight end 2. I think that's the kind of thing that we don't talk about with the draft is, you know what, there are people who are counting pennies here, and that can have an impact on your draft, because I think if you look back at what happened, round 1, Quinn got his guy, right? Let's be honest, McCarthy doesn't want to sit there in the first 2 rounds and potentially see the defense get players. He wants to get his guy too. And I know his mission, Mike McCarthy wants to cut down on these interceptions, and I think the way you do that is with tight ends. I think you're going to see a lot of 2 tight end sets. I think this Schoonmaker is going to end up being kind of an H-back hybrid. I know that probably gets talked about a lot, but I think when you do have a guy who can block, who's not a guy who's going to shy away from that contact, I do think you open yourself up to moving the ball in a more deceptive way. In other words, I think McCarthy wants to cut down on a lot of these 3 wide receiver sets. I think he'd rather go with a more balanced formation pre-snap so that he can, these first and 10 can end up 2nd and 5 on a play action pass and a bootleg to one of the tight ends. That's good yardage, because when you win on first down, I think you end up in a less susceptible interception and reduce the interception rate. So I think that's McCarthy's thinking on this, and that's why he didn't want to lose the opportunity to grab a tight end, because there was a run on tight ends, and McCarthy was like, listen, if we don't take him now, I can't tell you that I'm going to come out of here, out of this draft, with a guy that you're going to see any kind of productivity. So I think
there was one other guy from Old Dominion. His name is the tip of my tongue. I think Coach Marv, he talked really in depth about him, and he could have been a guy that the Cowboys could have gotten in the later rounds. They can do some of the things that Schoonmaker is going to do. And another thing that hit me while you was talking, if they had that dialogue of Bergeron versus Mozzie, right? That's what they had dialogue going back and forth. Then I'm quite sure, if I'm a betting man, if Dalton Kincaid didn't get drafted before, then they would have ran to the podium to put their money in their hat for Dalton Kincaid. So by the Bills jumping up and grabbing Kincaid, it alleviated the conversation Mozzie, Bergeron, Kincaid, because I'm quite sure that a lot of people had Kincaid clearly way ahead of Bergeron, and that would have been the pick. I think that it was a blessing in disguise, because the Cowboys really need to address the interior, because Mozzie may not be the guy that's going to give you the numbers from himself as an isolation. But for dog sure, he's going to be a guy that's going to get other people to eat.
Absolutely. And I'll get off with this. Mm-hmm. We have got to stop worrying about numbers with defensive tackles. I get it. Everybody wants a Chris Jones guy. But sometimes if you have a guy that either has to be double teamed or a guy that can plug those holes, get eaten up, then all of a sudden you have everybody else who can get in and come to the party. And I just think that that's something that if Hankins can do what he did as a 31-year-old guy that you got for a 6th-round pick, imagine a guy with tremendous upside who can learn from Hankins and be that sort of double middle guy that you literally can't make any kind of living off of getting yards. So I think that's a blessing in disguise. I agree with you, and I'll keep listening offline and appreciate you taking the call.
Appreciate you, Glenn Law. That's Glenn Law, y'all. Put your hands together for Glenn Law. So you guys get what I'm saying. Like, we can clearly see that Kincaid probably would have been the dude, even though we talk about smoke and mirrors, that the Cowboys may have put it out there that they didn't really was eyeing tight end. Well, it clearly shows that they were eyeing tight ends, because in the second round they said, shoot, they're very much so first pick with the 58 pick in the second round was Schoonmaker. And a lot of people said that he was the 7th best tight end. But his RAS scores and everything else, it shows pretty good. Got a bunch of green areas when you look up his RAS scores and what have you. But I can tell you that we didn't have a lot of holes in the first place, so I like the way that Charles Davis kind of broke down, hey, the Cowboys went with the philosophy of filling in the needs. Now, granted, BPA, y'all know I'm team BPA all day. You can tat it on my chest, and I said, for the rest, BPA. But I'm not in that locker room, or I'm not in that war room, that's a better way to say it, and they got a better insight to this team than I do, right? I'll be foolish to say I know more of what the Cowboys should go at than they do, because they are looking at it from multiple layers, as far as money, marketing, and they're looking at it as far as best guy that they can train and develop. Skill set, is he more of a zone player? Can he play on the island by himself? Can he blitz? They looking at a whole slew of things that I'm only looking at it from a surface level. So that's why I like this part of the year, whereas when I look at the film, I break it down, I would know whether the person can do X, Y, and Z. So that's why I love that aspect of it, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, appreciate y'all so much. Let's go in on another person. We got the 469, then we have the Stargazer, and we have the 202. So 469, you're live.
Hey, man, this your boy Fine Above the Rest. You ain't got me locked in by now, man?
Man, don't have, what's your name again? Let me lock you in right now.
It's Fine Above the Rest. I called you yesterday. I called you
Finally above the rest?
Flying.
Flying. Okay, my bad, man. You know, my bad, man.
It's my YouTube and my Twitter handle.
Okay, in your Twitter, okay. I got you, fam. I got you in here now, man. I guess I said I was going to do it, and I didn't do it, man. Charge it to my head, not my heart.
Hey, I'm charging that. There you go. You put the words out of my mouth. There you go.
Talk to me.
No, man. I got a good talk for you today. So today, we're going to talk about this run game, y'all. Y'all ready for this talk?
Yep.
So, I feel like the Deuce, that's what I'm going to call him. Every time you call him, I'm going to say Chuck up the Deuce. But I feel like Deuce is going to do a great job of coming in and earning his spot on this team. Y'all heard what I said, earning his spot on this team.
Yeah.
And I believe he's going to work himself to that to be the number 2 back. Off of his pure heart and talent, he's going to show that he's supposed to be the number 2 back. He's going to give Ronald Jones a big run for his money. Y'all mark my words, I'm telling you it's coming. Now, and here's the reason why I say this. Because I feel like the way Mike McCarthy going to use him, he's going to use him like he started using Aaron Jones in Green Bay when he first drafted him. I feel like that's how Mike McCarthy going to use Deuce. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
And then when you factor that in, plus, don't forget, while we not going to go and get Zeke, don't forget the big fullback we got from South Dakota State.
Hunter Lupke. Yeah.
Yes, sir. He's going to be our big bruise and power fullback. He's going to come in and clean up all the little stuff for Deuce to hit that hole and go make beautiful things happen for us. He's going to be a key, vital part in that for us, y'all. I'm telling you, it's coming. And I just feel like with TP leading the way, TP and Deuce going to be our number 2 back. And Ronald Jones will be our 3rd back. So I believe we're going to carry 3, possibly 4 backs on the roster this year. I see it because we don't commit to the run that heavy. I see us carrying 5 receivers and at least 3 to 4 backs. And we carrying 4 tight ends. All 4 tight ends making the team. I'm telling you that right now.
All 4 of them, yeah. I can see that.
McHugh, yes, sir. No, that's going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, this year, you got to understand if Sean McHugh, you can't put him on the practice squad. If he does, the Chargers are going to come and get him.
Yep.
Chargers. Yep. They're gonna get him up off of there and bring him in because that's one less guy that you have to bring about far as learning the offense over there in Chargers.
Yep.
So
Jerry don't want another incident of a vanilla gorilla getting away. Remember him?
Yeah. Yeah.
Jerry don't want that to happen again. So I agree with you 100%. That's gonna happen. So I feel like with this new West Coast team that we're running now is set up beautifully for our small, shifty backs to just eat them up. And both of them are so good in the passing game. That completion percentage gonna go through the roof. Because all he got to do is throw the ball 2.5 yards, dump it off to him, and we're gonna get yak all day.
That's what I want. Keep it short and simple for them. You don't have to really stress it on throwing the ball deep down the field unless it's a deep over, right? And it's clearly defined. The cooked. Just look at, and I'm not saying that we're going to run the same offense. But look at the Niners. Look at what they do with Brandon Ayuk.
It's going to be similar.
Yeah, it's going to be similar. My guy Debo, he's not a real route guy, right? He's a physical underneath. He's not going to beat you over the top. He's going to throw short to intermediate passes for him, and he gives you with the yak action.
What? We have a plus in that, but I know a lot of people don't fight me on this. But you know why I think we have a plus in that?
Why is it?
Because we got to see the lamb that's nasty with some routes.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Nasty with some routes, and he way better about running than Nebo. I'll fight anybody on that one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell him that here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell him that here. CeeDee Lamb is a way better route, way more polished route runner than Debo Samuel, which does what? And he works the slot. That can help open up for Dak, which is what Dak needs. And then with Hendershot, Ferguson, Schoonmakers, those guys nipping at the bit, doing their part to help free up their middle two, It just creates open, easy zone pockets, anticipation pockets for Dak. And you know that's what Dak thrives at. He's really good at anticipation throws. He can just let it rip. He got to think too much. That's what Dak is at his best, and that's what we all want.
Yeah, I mean, I think people kind of overanalyze the fact that when you have to have your wide receiver and quarterback on the same page, bump all of that. If you're going to give options to anybody, let it be to a tight end. They can use their bigger body and frame, and let everybody. Or sometimes your smaller guys and things like that. I think that you're on the right page with everything with your assessment. I just look back. Just look at the 2019, 2020, 2020. 2018, 19, 2020 Seahawks team. Just look at that team on how that Brian Schottenheimer kind of ran his offense, and just think of the same.
Oh, yeah. It was, pretty much mirroring each other.
Yep.
Man, you got to think about it. They ran the ball aggressively.
Aggressively.
I think they led the league in rushing attempts that season. Am I right?
Right, and none of their running backs are of the kinds of caliber at that time are what we have now. You know, I appreciate you for calling in, fam.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, Top Nation, you guys have a beautiful day. Y'all listen and put the button knife down so we okay, y'all.
Yes, indeed. Flying above the rest, man. That's my guy, man, from the 469. All right, so, man, great assessment, great information. Thank him so much, man, for calling in. I got him saved into the phone now. Stargazer with the 214. You're live.
Hey, what's up, Law? How you doing?
Doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing good.
That's good.
I just wanted to call in and talk about the draft for a little bit.
Oh, it's your world. It's your world. We got it right here. Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to know, like, what is your overall consensus of the draft? Like, if you would give it a grade now, I know we haven't seen the players play, but just based off of what you know about the prospects and stuff, what would be your grade?
My grade would be basically B. I give them right in between B, and this is subject to change because I got so many incompletes on my grade list right now that I give us right at a B. But there are still some things that I can look at in this draft and say, I love what they did as far as from a philosophy aspect, man. We got Mozzie now. That's going to allow others to eat. We went out there and got this running back that can fly, man. The guy can do all of the things that I like. And then we got the guy that we know for sure. Overshown, although he's a little raw in certain areas, I look at him like a bigger Donovan Wilson that keep Dono up on top of the roof a little bit more. And now you have Overshown when his number and name is called. He can get you some box action. So I kind of give him right in the middle B. I'm not going to go extreme A or extreme low C.
Right. Okay, yeah. I'm definitely feeling your grade. I would say I'm definitely right around there. I can tell you, I was ecstatic about the Mozzie pick just for the simple fact that we are finally taking it seriously to have a big guy in the middle. But Mozzie's not just a big guy because we did just, we have Big Bo, who was a big guy.
Right.
And I still have hopes for Bo. They call him Q, but I still have hopes for Quentin Bohanna. You know, that maybe he can take a next step. But he's not talent-wise on the level of Mozzie, even though they're probably around the same weight coming out of college.
Right.
So, and Mozzie has that type of – Mozzie's just incredibly strong. And, I mean, I've never seen it. Besides, like, Aaron Donald, like, just throw guards and tackles just, like, out of the way, like it's not even someone standing right there. He obviously has freakish strength. So, it's just exciting to not only have a good defensive tackle – but also a defensive tackle that's that strong. Because the main thing that we suffer from in the middle is getting pushed off the ball constantly. That's something that has killed us for years, and that's why you get destroyed in the run game and, basically sitting in Dak's lap because the pocket is selecting. So I'm definitely there, with you on Mozzie. And then I wanted to know, then with Shoemaker, I'm in the middle with him. I think when we first got him, I was probably saying the grade would be a D-, but looking more at him, I'm up to about a B, and then I'm tying into what I think they'll do with him schematically. Because, I mean, I don't think he's going to come in here and be all-world, and I don't think anybody should expect that. I think, he was brought here for his blocking ability and his upside.
Right.
But I still think Ferguson will be PE1, and that he'll compete. I do think he has a strong chance to compete with Hendershot for tight end 2. But, that'll all play into my scheme. I was down about Overshown. I know he has the great trait, but he is super raw, and there were just better, to me, linebackers on the board at the top. So I wasn't too high on him. And then the other picks, Mihoko and Awesome Richards, I think these guys are going to be able to contribute to the team as well. They're probably going to have to get in there with injuries, because you look at somebody like Mihoko. Golston took a step, so I expect Golston to kind of be ahead of him. But I think, if somebody gets hurt or whatever, he'll be able to rotate. And then same for Awesome. He gives me Tyler Smith-ish vibes. Obviously, there's got to be a difference because Tyler was a first-round pick and Awesome was a fifth. So
right.
they're the same player, but he does have ish vibes. But moving on, I don't know if you had anything to respond to that, but, I try to talk because I know you have a lot of people in your queue.
Well, no. You said some great things. One thing I'm going to say about the Mozzie situation, I think that this would, in some type of way, weirdly, from a man-to-man type of way, help Big Bo out because if anybody know anything, when you're in the gym together, and if somebody is just embarrassing you on the bench or on the curls, and you working out with them, every week you're going to be trying to chase that person to let them know, hey, I'm just as strong. And if Big Bo got any level of testosterone in his body and in his mind, he'd be sitting there like, man, I'm just as big as this dude. Watch what I do now. He may be sneaking some creatine. He may be eating extra peanut butter and everything else. You know what I'm saying? Some Brazilian nuts to get close to Mozzie to let him know that, hey, you ain't finna, you better hold my pads type of stuff, and that's what we want, man. I hope that will be the mindset that happens. And people know in the chat, they've been there before, and I've been there before. You see a rookie come in, and then all of a sudden he do more push-ups than you, more bench, more curls. You sitting like, nah, and that's what you want.
Exactly. Yeah, I definitely think he's going to push him. And that's what we want. I'm super excited for training camp because I think training camp is going to be a gauntlet. It's going to be more so like survival of the fittest because we have so many people. And I'm not even talking about the undrafted free agents that we added. I think we might even still go out there and get a free agent guard because there's good guards out there still on the free agency.
Yep.
Billy Price, Dalton Reisner. So there's still very capable of veterans out there. So I'm hoping that we'll even bring one of those guys into training camp, and see if they make the roster. But I wanted to ask you, what's more important to you, having a good draft or having a good free agent?
Ooh, all right. The good free agency is the now. The good draft will be for the future. So the Cowboys over the course of years, we've been lopsided. We've been great at drafting, but just suspect in free agency. So, and then they mask it and say, "Well, we did dance in free agency because we had signed our own guys." Yeah.
But we signed our guys. We signed a big free agent. We signed Dak. Telling us that type of BS. So, you would agree that us saying we gotta be players in free agency to get over the hump because we say we love our draft picks, but what's your broom analogy? You said the old broom, right?
Yeah. New broom can sweep the floor good, but that old broom, you get that old broom, get the corners up out of there. I'm from the real country. My great grandma, she didn't have a front yard with what we see now with like grass and stuff. So what they used to do is take a broom and sweep the ground, right? The dust. and they would sweep the dust, whereas that would be smooth, and that's would be their front porch, the dust of the ground. So that's where that saying come from. Yeah. So, hey,
Right.
that's what we get on right now. We sweeping the dust when we went and got Gilly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I love that analogy because it's perfect for what we did. We finally did the reverse.
Mm-hmm.
We put our focus into shoring up holes because, sure, we love JSN and Jordan Addison and Zay Flowers, but they don't have the skins on the wall like Brandon Cooks.
No, they don't.
You know what I'm saying?
They
We
don't.
love Joey Porter Jr. and Emmanuel Forbes. That was my guy. And the Cam Smith and Clark Phillips and all of these young guys. But those guys aren't Stephon Gilmore.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys haven't played a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So we have to acknowledge that, we may have not gotten the picks that we wanted in the draft. I'm just with everybody else. I went to sleep watching film and woke up watching film. Like, it took me forever to put together my graphics for my top 7 and grades. Like, it's so much invested. You know, you put so much invested making your videos. Dave Tuck, Boss writes a whole book.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everybody puts so much into the draft.
Yes,
and
indeed.
it's disheartening and it's upsetting when the guys that we know, we've watched, and we've evaluated, don't get picked up by our team.
No doubt.
And it even sucks worse when your freaking division rival is picking up guys
that you put all your work into, and that's the smoking gun though, Star, is that we look at that, and then the Eagles literally, and it's so hard. I'm not giving them flowers or giving them pub when I say this, but they went and got literally most of the guys that we kind of favored, or the Washington team and the Giants. So it's one of those things. Whereas we looking back. Yeah.
Right.
So
Giants got John Michael Smith and Hyatt. Eagles get Jalen freaking Carter, Nolan Smith. Then they pick up Eli Ricks.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like, I get it. I'm upset with everybody else, but at the same time, I think that the players that we got, I think our first 2 picks, may be overshown if there's injury. Awesome. Like, we have to know that we just drafted guys pretty much to help us out. Like, that's pretty much what we did because, as we said, once we did our free agency moves, everybody was saying we're going to be contenders right back again.
No doubt.
Because even last year, we were one, I like to say, I don't know if people agree with me, you know, they try to say Dak sucks and all this stuff, but I think we were one competent offensive coordinator away from making the NFC Championship. And if we had made the NFC Championship and faced the Eagles, we would likely beat the Eagles, and we would have been in the Super Bowl with a hobbled Michael Gallup and brick hands Noah Brown. So we have to know that, like, we can't be too upset because the front office did what we've asked them to do for years, which is focus more on bringing in guys that are ready now. And then in the draft, you're just adding to your roster. You're not really having to go out and draft starters.
Right.
Yeah, and I'll just land my plane here. You know, one huge move that we cannot lose sight of as a fan base, as content creators, is that the Dallas Cowboys got rid of Kellen Moore. And Kellen Moore was the single-handedly guy that pretty much ruined our dreams of getting to that NFC Championship. It was not the defense. The defense played like that. I don't care about Trayvon Diggs' missed interception and whatever else happened with the defense. The defense was converging to the ball. They held that San Fran offense to how much points was the law? 19 points?
19, yep.
They did better than the year before. Like, that defense played their hearts out. I don't care what anyone said. It was the offense that let us down. It was our offensive coordinator that let us down. And that was the guy that we all knew that if we didn't make it far, it was going to be because of him. So for the front office to get rid of him, like, we should really be on chill mode. You know, I don't know if y'all are Christian people, but y'all know in the Bible when Jesus was on the boat and the disciples was panicking, like panicking is, you know, storming outside and Jesus is asleep on the boat. And told them, oh, ye a little faith, and just told the storm, like, be quiet. Like, that's how we should be. We should be Jesus on the boat. because we have done what the front office has already done what we've asked them to do. So now we've been asking also Mike McCarthy for him to lead this team, for him to call plays. He's doing that now, guys. Like, everything is set in place. So I know the draft didn't go as we wanted it to. I know the Eagles got guys that we wanted on our team. But I really do think that, like, we got to settle down and not have the panic button. Even with Shoemaker, I know everybody's just so upset, but it's like, let's not panic because he's not here to take over. Like, he's here to just be an asset to us winning 6.
No doubt.
And I'll leave it at that, Law.
No doubt. I appreciate you. Let people know where they can find and follow you at.
You guys can find me on YouTube at Stargazer Sports. You can find me on Twitter at The Stargazer, but in Gazer, the E is a 3, and then there's 2 R's at the end. And you can find me also on Instagram at Stargazer_sports. And if you are on Facebook, you can find me on there as well at Stargazer Sports Media. Thank you so much, Law.
That's wonderful. Appreciate you. Thank you, Star. It's a good call from her. Let me see if my notification is correct. And I'm going to check in over here. You guys just bear with me. Let me see if there's Stephen Jones on the website.
You know, nothing's beneath him, and you can't, you know.
Okay. We're going to segue.
And it's just.
And extend. Hold on, let me pause real quick. We're going to segue and extend our coverage over to 105.3 The Fan. For those who are on the phone, just stand tight, and we will bring you guys back up. This is going to be a marathon show because we can listen to the VP of Operation and Stephen Jones.
Back after
and Will McClay.
Getting character information on Deuce, and he said, "Guy, I hope." He came back in the office and said, "Boy, I hope that people talk about my kids half as good as they talk about Deuce Vaughn." So it was just a surreal moment to go through that. And, you know, in Texas we say faith, family, football in those orders, and we got a chance to experience all of that in the in the war room on Saturday.
Yeah, Will, when we had a chance to interview him, I said, "Hey, congratulations of overcoming your father as a character problem, a flaw maybe that your mom and all that can." I know, but no, it's a great family. You're absolutely, and again, thank you for allowing us, the scouts, to come visit us with us on the draft. I was going to ask you about about Mazi Smith. You made a very passionate, and I'm not going to say a speech. You gave Jerry Jones asked you your thought on the player, and you gave your thought on the player. Talk about that and what the purpose of that particular talk at that moment, what you felt like you had to do to get that done.
You know, in every draft room, you know, you go through these moments where there's players that are there, and they're up on your draft board for a reason. You like them. But when it comes time to make a pick, you know, Jerry, you know, I talked to the scouts about it. We are the lawyers presenting the case. What I wanted to do at that point in time was present the case with, I was asked a pointed question of who I thought was better. I wanted to try and gather all my thoughts quickly and say the reason why I felt like Mazi was the guy for us at that time. And with great power comes great responsibility. And I feel very fortunate to have the responsibility that I have and, you know, that we have as a scouting department. And so when it was not only my work and my thoughts, but those guys that really believed in the player. Brett Maxey brought him to us early. I remember watching him in November, and I don't typically start watching college tape until November or December. I go through our season, but I tend to kind of hit guys on like, hey, who are the top 3 or 4 guys in your area? And I start watching tape, or I'll look for measurables, and I'll, you know, pull some tape and just start watching that without any influence from anybody in the room or whatever.
Listen to that part.
You know, not looking at grades or anything. So I went down, and, you know, there was Mazi, and as we were going through it, and at the end of the season when we lost Carlos Watkins in the San Francisco game, and before that when we had lost Hankins for the 3 or 4 games, and, you know, I look at all of the things that we have, and, you know, I just thought that, you know, we do this thing called Across the Hall, and it's when the coaches and the scouts get together. The scouts tell the coaches about how they do their job. The coaches tell the scouts what they're looking for. When that whole thing in my mind, I'm going, okay, there's this guy, and Mazi just kept coming up. So when I was asked that question, I got to talk about a player that I believed in for us within that situation as we were talking about it.
Do you see Tyler Smith playing tackle? And if so, what's your vision for left guard?
I mean, that's a puzzle that will be continued to be figured out because we have talented people there. And what we want to try and do is get our best five, and that's what training camp is for. That's what OTAs are for and all those things. It's easy to say it should be this, but you want to go through it. We have a new offensive line coach. We're doing things new offensively, so it's an opportunity to start fresh and put the best five on the field. One thing I will know that Tyler should and will be in that best five.
I was surprised you guys didn't come out with another offensive lineman, Will, before pick 169 anyway, a higher one. What gives you confidence to not add another player higher up?
Well, we've drafted people. We've seen guys develop. We signed Chuma Edoga in free agency, we just feel like the development of that group is continuing to grow, and you can't pour all of your resources into the offensive line. But if you have quality people and you have young guys that are continuing to grow, college football is not played like the NFL. So when you draft a kid out of college, there's going to be growing pains. But you want to pick the guys with the traits and with the mental fortitude and the ability to continue to grow. Everybody doesn't have all 5 first-round picks on the offensive line. So it's those guys that come in that are willing to put in the work, that are willing to learn from these stages. We got a lot of young guys that we have invested in, and it's their time to shine, and it's their opportunity to shine. We'll continue to try and add to that, but there's also other holes and places and things that we need to do for our roster.
VP of Player Personnel for your Dallas Cowboys, Will McClay. You're the best. Thank you so much for your time, sir.
Thank you, guys.
You got it. Will McClay here on 105.3 The Fan. With great power comes great responsibility, he says.
Spider-Man.
A little bit more visible in this draft with the speech. I do believe strongly it's time to give this man his title.
Yeah, and
man. Let me see what they got to say.
Situation. The Joneses, they respect him. He does a great job of dealing with what he calls a Bermuda Triangle. The Joneses at the top, the scouts on one corner, and then the coaches on the other, and his in the middle of the triangle there. But he does a great job of navigating all those kinds of egos.
The calm and the storm.
Exactly.
It's a huge blessing he can be involved.
Man, no doubt, man. Shout out to 105.3 The Fan for that beautiful, and I mean just that beautiful interview with Will McClay. And it goes to show you that the Dallas Cowboys, some of the things that we were saying, we are hearing echoes of it now from them, and that's good. I got my guy from the 815. Brandon, you're live from the 815. Big dog.
What up, Law?
Not much, man. How you feeling, bro?
I'm pretty good, man. How you and the family, man?
Man, doing good, man. Got the little one accepted into private school, so you know how that goes. That's a step. She had to take a test, and she passed it, and she got in. So moving from one area to another, so it's good.
Man, congratulations on that, man. That's a blessing, man.
Appreciate it.
Brandon love the kids. Although I don't love Dak, I love the kids.
Well, hey, man, love, like. So you don't love them, you don't like them. Which one? Yeah, you don't like nor love them.
I don't neither.
Neither, Nathan. It's all
congrats
good,
to
bro.
the kids,
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, bro.
But the draft, I thought the draft was okay. I did not like the tight end pickup. I'm just got to be real about it. You know, I get it. I get it. It's not a sexy pick at all.
Right.
But I get you can sell the fact that it can help Dak. It's to help Dak. So I get that.
Right.
The third round pick, I love the trade. I love the highlight. You would hope a third rounder could at least be a starter. I'm not sure that he gonna be even. I think maybe special teams. I see the talent. I'm not denying that. I just don't know. I gotta see with him. Look, to me, the team is basically set. Like I think we did really good in free agency. The draft was what the draft it's future. So I'm thinking about next year. I want to win a Super Bowl. So hopefully, you was talking about 27 wins and all that, but I want to also say there are only two. It's 2 and 4 matters more than those 27. Those 27 helped us get to the 2 and 4. I'm not denying that, but 2 and 4 matters more than that 27 wins. I don't want to stick on that. I just want to throw that out there, and who knows? And the people that know what I'm talking about.
You're talking about Dak Prescott and his playoff victories, right? You only won 2 of them.
Right.
Yeah. Out of the 2 games, like, I give it what you're saying, right? Dak Prescott had 2 horrible back-to-back playoff games against the 49ers. Every other playoff game he's been to, we can all argue that he played pretty well in. Just these 49ers, that's been a thorn in his side. So if we can get past the 49ers, hopefully the 49ers don't make it to the playoff this year. And now we don't have Kellen Moore, too, to go up against those Niners defense, right?
And I want to end on that because I know you got a lot of callers, and you are the great Law Nation. I want to make sure I say that. That excuse is gone. I don't want to hear nothing. No, that BS is gone. I don't want to hear no more about Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore is gone.
Right.
So whatever Dak is, whoever Dak gonna be, all that Kellen Moore. Let me find a way to. Kellen Moore caught all the bad plays, and Dak caught all the good plays. How about them Cowboys? I love Law Nation Sports because he gonna keep it real, and he gonna let me be me. So shout out to him. Shout out to all the Cowboy Nation. How about them Cowboys, and shout out to Law.
Man, appreciate you, bro. Thank you so much, man. That's my guy, Brandon, man. If it's anybody, if God, can you do me one huge favor, God? We praying right now, and I know somebody else can touch and agree with this prayer. Allow Dak Prescott, Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott, to win the Super Bowl for Brandon and for all of the people who think like Brandon. Come on, God. You know, the word said, ask and you shall receive. So God, in the mighty name of Jesus, allow Dak Prescott to stay healthy this year and allow him to go to the playoff, to be successful in the playoffs, get to the Super Bowl, and then win the Super Bowl. Because I think, you know, when we said that prayer before, we said, man, God, we didn't ask it right? We said, allow Dak Prescott to go to the Super Bowl to lift up a trophy, right? We didn't give him the direct information. So Dak Prescott last season, believe it or not, he made it to the Super Bowl. He lifted up a trophy, but we didn't ask him the right way, right? So now God allow Dak Prescott to take the Dallas Cowboys to the Super Bowl and lift up that Lombardi trophy as a victory, you know, as a winner. Because Dak Prescott last year, you know, he went to the Super Bowl. He didn't lift up a Lombardi trophy, but he did lift up a trophy. Right? Jalen Hurts didn't lift up a trophy, right? So God said be specific with it. Yeah. So we're asking right now in the mighty name that allow Dak Prescott to take his team to the Super Bowl to win it, right? You know, come on. Asking you shall receive. You shall receive. Come on, y'all. Slap your neighbor and tell him amen. Ain't this right, Dr. C? Dr. C, you're live from the 832.
Good. How you doing, brother?
Doing great. All right,
brother. First of all, man, you're always doing great. I like following your podcast, etc. I hear a lot of different types, from Voss to Foots, Kavanaugh. I hear them all, from your Brian Bravises, but I really like what you do because you get to the point, brother, and some of us like content, okay? When I come on here, I just want to hear content. So I got to give you props. So
appreciate you, man.
Let me start with this. First of all, one of the things I was talking to, in the barbershop. You got your barbershop GM.
Oh, yeah.
Barbershop coaches, right?
Yeah.
So I have a friend. I'm out here in Texas, but I'm not from Texas.
Okay.
But anyway, and I've been a Cowboy fan since I was 5. But out here in Texas, I got some friends that are other team fans, and they hate the Cowboys.
Oh, yeah.
But they say, man, Dr. C, when you talk about the Cowboys, they say we can stomach you. And here's why. When I talk about the Cowboys, man, I'm not just coming from a fandom mindset. I'm coming from an analytical mindset. What does that mean? I'm going to tell you the facts. I'm not telling you what I hope, what I wish, what I like, what I want. I'm going to tell you what I'm seeing.
Right.
And a lot of times fans, it's like being in a family. The family member that you praising and blowing up, they might not be that great, but because they're your family, you might add a little extra greatness to what's really not great because that's your family.
Embellishment, yeah. You're going to embellish a little bit, yo. Go ahead.
Exactly. So real quick, I told my buddy, I said, hey, he said, what do you want your team to do in the draft? I said, in the first 3 picks, here's my wish. I want some beef. Remember, where's the beef?
Where's the beef? Yeah.
Where's the beef? Why? What have I seen in the last 5 years? We lack the beef in the middle.
Right.
We need some beef. I don't care about all this other stuff. I said Jonathan Hankins was great. He's a little older, but we need some beef to go with that. I said, so first 3 picks, give me beef defense or offense. If you can do that for me, I know we're going to be solid because we got almost everything else. And just like I thought, they said, well, what beef you looking at? I said, well, let's rule out Jalen Carter. People wishing for Jalen Carter, but Jalen ain't falling to no 26.
Right.
I don't care what the pundits and everybody say. So let me start with Mozzie. I said, you can give me a Mozzie first round. And the second thing is they said, well, that was a little rich for the pick where you wasn't going to get him at 58. So what are you talking about? If you want that, you better get him at 26.
Right.
And lo and behold, they say he was 13 and 14 on the Cowboys board. So they finally did that. So I just want to say to the Cowboy Nation, man, we did great in the draft. Not good. We did great.
Okay.
And if you don't realize what we got behind the scenes, and the last thing I'm going to say, because I don't know how much time I have. That's why I'm kind of rushing through. You can slow me down. Say, no, we good. But with Will McClay, and what I've seen in this guy, that's one of the things I tout. When I talk to other people, I don't brag on our coach because I don't know. My coach ain't showed me everything I want to see from him yet. But Will McClay, all Cowboy fans, let me be clear, man. You need to be touting Will McClay because he is solid. It's more solid than almost any other scout, assistant, GM, program director for scouting throughout the league. As long as we got him, we're going to be fine. Now, to take us to the next level, I'm going to give you this on our exiting OC. And this is what I saw 2 years ago from Kellen Moore.
All right.
I told my brother, I said, listen, what I don't like about Kellen Moore, I think he's very gifted, he's very talented at putting together plays. I said, but the problem that I see with him, he hasn't matured as a play caller. I said, my problem with him, sometimes when I watch the games, he called plays like he's playing John Madden. And I'm like, dude, you're not paying attention to all the elements of what's going on with some of the play calls.
Right.
Case in point, I've seen some games, brother. We're doing good. We're moving the ball. He done got in the red zone. We 1st and 10. He called a double reverse.
Right.
Like, Kellen, what are you doing? Why are you calling? And we're not even down. It's like 0-0.
Right.
Why in the world would you call a double reverse? The thing spins it out. We done got negative 11 yards. You putting Dak in a situation to make him have to come out like he's Aaron Rodgers. This kid isn't Aaron Rodgers. He's Dak Prescott. So all my issue has been with our OC. I won't say he was bad.
No.
He just wasn't lining up what his value was from what he had in his offense and his quarterback.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are. You got to call plays based on what you have, not what you hope. And one of the things I've seen in him, I'm like, great guy, great mind, but he hasn't matured. So I'm glad, not that he was bad, that he's gone. I'm glad because hopefully now with McCarthy, just use what we have. Call plays from the talent that Dak has, and not what Dak hasn't.
Man, Doc, man, you right on the money, man, with it. I appreciate you for calling in. I thank you for your words, man, and continue to follow all of us because we deliver differently, but we are all on the same page, and it's all good, man, from a different perspective. I thank you so much, Doc.
Baldy.
Yes, indeed, man. Some more B, man.
Cowboys for life.
Appreciate you, man. All right, so from the 832, knowledge is brushing your teeth, right? Wisdom is also getting that tongue. You got to brush that tongue too. You wake up in the morning, you brush your teeth, and you forget that tongue. You got knowledge to do it, but the wisdom is also understanding that, hey, get that tongue too, and while you're brushing their teeth. And you got so many people out here that don't brush their tongue. So, yeah. So that's what... That's what Kellen Moore was doing. And flossing. Yes, indeed. You got to floss and get that tongue action, dog. Yeah. I'm crazy, man. Let me go ahead and lock this up.
The conference has been locked.
All right, I got my guy, Action Ryman Jackson, man. And then I got Marv and then I got Queen. But you're live, dog. Talk to me, man.
What's going on with you, love, man?
And all is well, man.
That pig and Prada over there, man. You putting that pig and that Prada, man.
You better leave Miss Pig alone, man. She bad, dog. She bad. Yes,
okay.
Indeed. Megan Thee Stallion ain't got nothing on her, man. You better leave her alone, man.
Not nothing.
Not nothing on her, man. Come on.
Check it out. So they say smoke and mirrors, right? But what do you call a transparent mirror? Because that's what we gotta be, man. It ain't no smoke and mirrors for Dallas, bro. We don't trick nobody for nothing. It's like we just show our hand.
Oh, so we translucent. We a translucent mirror, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, translucent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, come on, bro. Like, come on, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Y'all say y'all wasn't trying to get a tight end, but immediately the next round y'all draft a tight end.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like y'all was showing y'all hand. Y'all was look like Kincaid was the guy.
He was the guy.
You were still on the board. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what's crazy about me. Okay, would you say like the last 10 years of them drafting? What would you say? What is they I want to say fixation, infatuation with Boise State, Michigan, and who else? What's the other college? I forget the other college, but what would you say the best player come out of Boise State that we have drafted like last, just say 10 years?
Law.
Who would you say would it?
Law was the best. Crawford was pretty good too. I don't know if we drafted him, but I think he was here for a long time. He was our better interior guy. He had 7 sacks from the interior. We haven't matched that since Crawford been gone. But I know before Crawford, even though he's not Boise, Hatcher
the
was
best
a guy.
player we got from Boise. You would say D-Law, right?
D-Law. In shorts, D-Law. Yeah.
Okay.
If I had to do order, D-Law, Crawford, Skandrick, LVE, and then Justin, whatever the damn. He's now a coach on our team, the DB coach. I forgot his name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And don't forget we got
Cedric Wilson. Is another guy.
Okay. And Michigan, you would say Jordan Lewis, right?
Hands down, Jordan Lewis probably be the best Michigan guy we had in a long time.
So far. Okay. Why not try anything out the SEC? When you went to the SEC, I'm just saying, like, you know, if you think about it, Diggs from the SEC, would you say Diggs better than any of those players?
Man, the best one we got so far is Dak Prescott, man. Yeah. Hell State, you know.
And where he from? SEC. Like,
SEC.
If you're having this success coming out of the SEC, why not? Would you think you should kind of like look into that a little more than these other places that you're so in love with? Like, you know.
But there's so many variables with that, though, man. You know, that is leaning on anecdotal. You know, it'll be too hard for me to Did you say just because?
Juice Sanders was on the board, Law.
Huh?
Juice Sanders was on the board. Juice Sanders was on the board. He's from the SEC. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. The Osiris Torrance was on the board. He's from the SEC. You know what I mean? Come on, man. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Some players that it's like we just stuck.
Felix Jones, baby, remember him? You know.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Okay, then one other thing, what I got a little pushback on you from. You saying, okay, if you was to come out of would you say Dan Quinn is a better head coach or defense coordinator?
I think that Dan Quinn is a better coordinator than he is a head coach.
Okay. Would you say Matt Patricia is a better defense coordinator than Dan Quinn, or Dan Quinn is a better defense coordinator than Matt Patricia? I'm not talking head coach, just strictly defensive coordinator.
Strictly on just the coordination side of it, I think that Dan Quinn have a larger bandwidth or transferable knowledge, a whole bunch of array of things than Matt Patricia.
Because of his coaching style, right?
It's a slower thing. Resume alone, I think Quinn is a little bit higher than Patricia. You know, even though Patricia got
3 rings.
Yeah, he got, but ain't nobody was talking about that. They knew that Belichick was that dude. You know.
Well, okay, true that. Okay, but if he coming from under the Belichick tree, would you say he gained to have a little more knowledge than you know what I'm saying? If if we add him onto our coaching staff, right? Wouldn't you say that will make us better to add him, even if he has that's a defensive assistant? You know, wouldn't that make us better to add him?
Well, then we blending philosophies, though. You know, it depends.
No. I'm saying without Quinn. Let's just say we didn't have Quinn.
If we didn't have Quinn, right?
Like the Eagles have a new defensive coordinator, right?
Right.
And we added Patricia as the defensive assistant to their coordinator. Wouldn't you say that his knowledge of the game would be kind of more beneficial than us to overlook the new coordinator we got? Would you say like, okay, he got Patricia in his back pocket, so he's giving them knowledge, right? So we had to expect, we had to look out for that aspect of it too, correct?
So I get where you're going, right? Like,
yeah.
But I'm looking at like Patricia's resume post Bill Belichick been terrible. You know what I mean? It's been scrubbed.
Right?
Yeah. So his standalone value since he left his daddy been terrible, right? He's like the prodigal son. He need to go back home, right? So I get what you're saying. So Quinn's resume since he left the Seattle Seahawks, at least we can say, hey, he been to the Super Bowl, right, by himself, but he didn't win it.
Right.
And now that he's been a decent defensive coordinator here, he took a team that was ranked 30th ranked defense all the way down in the last 2 years, top 15, top 12, respectfully. So now you're talking about like Joe Witt Jr., Al Harris, Durday, and George Edwards, right, that was here at the time. All of those boys, all of those boys were pretty good. George Edwards used to be the defensive coordinator for the Vikings, right? By him in room with Dan Quinn, that helped us, right? It helped us more than it hurt us, right? So I get what you're saying. So that could be the same situation that you are implying, that Patricia and whoever their coach is over there, there should be a good combination, right?
He's in Philly. You know what I'm saying? He's
who's their defensive coordinator though?
The defensive coordinator, he was under Bill Belichick also. You know what I'm saying? They all come from the Belichick.
Oh, it's a Belichick thing. Belichick thing.
Yeah.
What's his name?
The offense coordinator, it's Rob. Is it Johnson? I think it's Johnson. Something like
any name you throwing at there is still an unknown. Like the Eagles, they're gonna have a bevy of unknown stuff.
But they got talent. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but here before you go to your point though, we've been hearing this for a long time. Those who leave Bill Belichick, they don't do anything though. Outside of the Titans, outside of that Titans head coach over there, I think he's pretty good. But everybody else, they've been. Coach Joe Judge, he wasn't. He didn't live up to his resume. Yeah, the other guy keep giving multiple opportunities over there in Raiders land. What's his name?
Mangini had success though. He had success. Then he fell out. Then but he had a little success. He went to the playoffs. Mangini, I think he even beat Belichick in the playoffs.
Yeah, but Mangini, he leaked the news though. Mangini was starting snitching. He's like, all right, man.
Yeah.
Mangini started snitching, dog.
Hey, okay.
Mangini was like the dude off of Blue Magic. He started.
Hey, look.
He started pointing.
We gotta have our antennas up for Matt Patricia and Philly because they gonna be cheating. hey, man, I'm telling you, the apple don't fall too far from the tree. He is on that Belichick tree. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. He in Philly, so.
Well. Here's the true story though. What's the owner name for the Philadelphia Eagles?
I think it's like Jeffrey Lurie.
Jeffrey Lurie, right? Originally, the Jewish people, they stick together. He wanted to buy the damn New England Patriots.
Oh.
He wanted to buy them. He didn't have enough coins. Before Kraft, you know what I'm saying? Okay. See, a lot of Eagle fans don't even know their history. See, he wanted to buy them, you know what I'm saying? But he didn't have, the money was looking a little funny. And then on his way out, he had to go buy the Eagles. His philosophy were to take the Eagles and turn them into what the Boston, the Patriots, So, they finagled and finessed some things with some banks because you know how that money goes. In that community, they got long money. They probably after me now after I said this, but. They got long money.
Might be talking too much.
I'm speaking too much. I ain't gonna go into the details on how he got it. So let me go ahead. Let me just hush, man. Let me go ahead, hush.
I'm gonna go get out this car before you get that old knock on your door, man. All right, man.
Hey, all right, bro. Appreciate you, man. Hey, but you never got to your point though, man. What was you trying to get at though?
I was getting at that you saying like we should not count on them because the talent they got and the new head coach they got. When I'm telling you he got somebody above him that's going to show him the way of of how to the know-how. You understand me? He's not out there. You giving it to us like he's out there a rookie, but he's not a rookie because he got somebody behind him to show him where he's messing up at.
Okay. With their offensive coordinator, with their new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator.
Yeah, we shouldn't underestimate. And the offensive coordinator come from Andy Reid. We talking Belichick and Andy Reid. These two of the best coaches of our generation of time. So I'm just saying, like, we shouldn't underestimate them because they got young players. You know what I'm saying? We got to come with our A game at all times. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, now from a fan perspective. Action, right. It's okay for us to say it. I'm quite sure that those guys, Mike McCarthy, they ain't gonna underestimate them. They gonna want to destroy them.
Yeah. True.
Yeah.
True. Yeah. True. I'm just taking it like I'm in the coach's office too. Like, we ain't over there. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, they went to the Super Bowl.
In the front office too.
Man, they ain't underestimating those boys. If anything,
no doubt.
The Eagles now a target. Now what they asked for. When they prayed for rain, they're gonna have to deal with the mud. They're gonna have to deal with the mud all year.
Play that sound bite for me, man.
I got you. I got you right here.
When you pray for rain, you got to deal with the mud too.
Woo, man. Yes, sir. Appreciate you, man.
Baby.
DC for yes, indeed. So, I mean, Denzel in that movie, man, he was trying to let him off the hook. He was gonna let him off the hook. And he went to that dude and he said, "Just give me the lady, man. Just give me the lady. Give me the lady. I got $12,000. I think he had like $9,000. He wanted 10 or something, And the dude was like, no. And Denzel was like, all right, cool. And all of that could have been avoided. All it could have been avoided. They could have left the little girl alone, and Denzel could have just gave them $9,000 to $10,000, but they didn't want to. And then they went to this mafia guy to that mafia guy, and they went and hired their hitman. And Denzel Washington, he came so cool. He had I think Denzel had the glasses on. He walked in there. Denzel, man, it's a small detail that Denzel do. That Denzel boy, he had it like a sheet of napkin. He would just fold it up on the table. Just fold it up on the table. Just take his glasses off. Then take glasses out, put it on the table nice. And fold his damn napkin up so doggone crisp and put it on the table. And just do all of that number right there. And he looked at the man and he said, hey, what you want it to be? You know, it was, oh, my guy Sonny, he said $9,800, man. Hey, hey, I bet you that guy could have just took the $9,800, but man.
When you pray for rain, you got to deal with the mud too.
Woo! They said it's an Equalizer 3 coming out too. Woo! I can't wait for Equalizer 3 come out, man. Ooh, it's gonna be good. I can't wait. Can't wait to see that one, man. Y'all know how it goes. Just different, man. But she saw Queen to be. Queen, you're live. Hey, what's going on?
What's going on?
All is well. Can't complain.
Yeah, you know what? You got certain people that can't call other people's shows with that bullshit they be talking.
Hell yeah.
They don't even try to call them other shows, so they gonna get told the F off. They call them with that crap. You hear me? And I ain't gonna call no name.
All right, you already know, Queen.
So you know they ain't got enough balls to do that. But I just called to give another hype session about the fact that I am so happy that draft season is over. I hope that we pick up some more, as they call it, meat, and I ain't gonna say pause, to put in that middle, to sure that O-line and that defense and everything. So, that's all I called for. The fact that I am so excited. And we gonna whoop everybody's ass on this season.
Let's go. Let's get it. Tell them we gonna whoop them.
Yeah.
Whoop them.
We gonna whoop everybody.
And what else we gonna do? What else we gonna tell them?
Well, I see us going 15-2. And then, while we doing all that, we gonna let them hang.
Let them hang, baby. To the window, to the wall, to the sweat. Hey, did you? To the sweat. Hey, did you hear what I said, Queen, yesterday about the push-up? Was I right on the money with the push-up? Because you can see a lot of people didn't understand what I was saying with the push-up bra, you know, or with the support bra. You're going to need that in order to keep things in order, right?
That's right. Yeah, you need that.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you so much.
You know what you're talking about, y'all?
Yeah.
You know what you're talking about?
Yeah. Appreciate you, Queen. Thank you so much.
All right.
To the window, to the wall, to the sweat, to the sweat. I'm too burnt up for y'all, man. I'm too burnt up, man. All right. I got my guy, man, MJ from the 206. You in the mix. You're live.
What up, Law Nation?
What's good with you, bro?
Man, I got some stuff real good. I've been listening to everybody.
Right.
I want to ask everybody on your show, and this is going to be dealing with, this is Will McClay.
Willie.
And this is you guys. Okay? This is a question to everybody on the show that listen. Law. So the airplane pilot for American Airlines just took off. We all on the plane. You feeling safe, right?
I mean, yeah, depending on the turbulence and everything. Yeah, I'm feeling safe.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. The turbulence, he know how to get through that.
He know how to get through it, though. Yeah.
Okay, now look at this. If I'm flying the plane,
Man, wait a minute, dog. I'm gonna be like, if I see you with the pilot hat on and everything, dog, you my dog. But I'm gonna just take off, man. I think I got some type of a cough that I don't want to get everybody else affected with, and I'm gonna let y'all go. I'll meet you there.
Okay, there you go. You just answered the question to all the no fans that think they know NFL football. Them guys been surveying them players since the season start. They got 100 eyes on them, and the fans only got their eyes on them by watching people on the talk shows and barely doing checkup on the player, and that's how y'all draft. Now, that player from Alabama, I'm going to tell y'all something. I did not like that, and Alabama is my favorite college team, to let y'all know. I did not like the corners
South Alabama or Roll Tide, Alabama. Which one?
I'm talking about Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. Okay.
I did not. That was the worst corners we ever had. I did not like them. And I'm glad they did not draft the guy y'all wanted. He was horrible.
You talking about Eli Ricks?
Yeah. Did y'all see that Tennessee game?
Oof.
Hyatt destroyed him. And a few other games. And then the Georgia corner. While the Cowboys didn't draft him, yeah, he's fast.
You talking about Ringo?
He was getting to it. Ringo was getting to it. Only reason Georgia won the national championship, the guy missed a field goal, the game would have been over. And when the receiver, Harrison, went out of the game, that saved him. That guy almost 20 yards catch. Come on, man. Y'all got to know y'all football. You see what I'm saying? And the Cowboys staff know what they doing. And to get to the tight end, that tight end, y'all, all the Cowboys fans, since y'all crying, come again next year. Y'all going to be praising him. Because when you got him and Ferguson on the line, knocking them defensive ends off their butt, and not the defensive end knocking Schultz. Because Schultz stopped a lot of drives last year. Because your boy, the Video King Raheem was trying to make him an all-pro so he could get that money.
Right.
Video King Raheem was trying to set us up with the hokey doke. And the Cowboys caught that about time. And now Jerry Jones know, like y'all, he listened to these shows. And my boy, because y'all know I'm Cowboy 2 and Cowboy 1, we listen to y'all. And we let Mike McCormick do what he want to do. It's the Mike McCoy show. And then, if y'all heard the show, Jerry threw a little poke on the side. Y'all didn't catch it. He said, they asked him something. He said, yeah, our drafting been good, but our coaching been like, and McCoy looked at him and started laughing. So Jerry said, I dropped the players all these years, and my coaching ain't got us to the promised land. And then they got rid of all the coaches. They got rid of the offensive coach that went with Avante Collins and Law was there and Law could vouch. Avante Collins did not give up a sack in preseason. He was the best right tackle behind Steele in preseason. And that dumb offensive coordinator didn't even have him on the practice squad. Now they could have stole him from us. You see what I'm saying? So they got rid of his dumb self. And then the halfback was favoritism because your boy Davis was running for 6 yards a carry and didn't play him. Then they got rid of the offensive coordinator, didn't know how to use our receivers. So if y'all see what I'm getting to, it's up to coaching now. They got all the dirt. We need dirt guys. We don't need pretty boys no more. We got enough pretty boys. Our pretty boys, Diggs. We got number 3 now, the fast guy that's going to kill the Giants in Philly. I'm glad that Philly kept them 2 corners because they finna get torched. And Philly drafted to compete against Dallas. Y'all bragging on their draft. And I told my friend, I'd rather go with a Cowboy fan that's going to go to the club with me than ain't going to let me get my butt beat by Philly fans. So I know not to take some of you Cowboy fans with me because some of y'all not Cowboy fans. Y'all don't let me get beat up in the club and say, oh, man, do you see what they did to Marv? Oh, it's
until the lights come on. They're going to stump you until the lights come on.
Yeah. So I want to take my boy. What's your boy name? I love him. Is it 100,000? What's his name?
100 grand?
100 grand. Oh, 100 grand. If you listen, dog, anytime you can let him take you out everywhere. I run all the clubs. I'm taking care of you.
Okay.
You my dog.
Yeah, he
you
East Coast. He East Coast. He gonna come over to West Coast. 100 grand. Yeah, 100 grand. 100 grand gonna fight.
100 grand.
Hey, Rome. Hey, you ever listen to Rome? See, Cowboys football talk, Rome.
Yeah.
He gonna always fight for the Cowboys, man. I like him too.
So
Yeah.
100 grand. My boy Tupac. Oh, hey, my boy.
Yeah, love you. Yeah.
When y'all come to LA, y'all come with me.
Yeah.
Y'all got VIP. I'm taking care of y'all. Y'all my dogs. You Fairweather Cowboy fans, I'm making your ass pay.
You got to bring Lady Jessica too now. You got to have her though.
Lady Jessica, Lady Jessica, you get in free. I'm gonna get y'all drinks. Y'all gonna have a good time. But the Fairweather Cowboy fans, I do not want to see you. You is a puke. Because y'all on here bragging on Philly. And I'm going to tell y'all something. We got the ups on Philly. Because y'all forgot who we got last year. Our DN got 6 sacks. And he only played 30 sacks.
Damn,
from
bro.
Mississippi.
Ooh.
He got, look at this. 6 sacks. He gonna get about 10 this year. And then they got I call him the missile. The guy they just got from Texas. That boy from dog. Our big tight end, Ferguson, and my boy, Shoemaker, they're going to be blocking this. Man, that running game, and that running back, little Kansas, oh, my God. That little guy, anytime he touch that ball, and you can't see him, and he make you look stupid. You think you're going to hit him in the hole? That little back going to be killer. And I'm going to give y'all a surprise. I think what's about to happen, I think Ezekiel is going to get signed back with the Cowboys. It's going to be Ezekiel, that little back, what you call, and then they still going to keep your boy, because now that you can keep old players on the practice squad just in case somebody get hurt. You see what I'm saying?
You see, you and Mr. Rome, y'all on the same page, man, because
you see what I'm saying?
You must be watching him, man.
Ezekiel know they're going to win the championship. And let me tell y'all one more time.
What's that one more time?
Big 58 is playing the 3 tech. He's playing nose tackle. Only time he's going to play the nose tackle when your boy Osa come in and then the other guys come in. But he's starting off at the 3 tack. Hankins is playing the 1 tack. And then your 2 Ds in, Law, and whoever over there. And then our king that's going crazy. Vander going to have about 100 tackles. Oh, my God. Hey, and then you know who else we got better than them, y'all?
What is that?
Number 33, that should have been a first or second round pick last year, and they let us get him. Will did it again. He's all the way healthy. He run a 4-4. Harper 4-4. It's the 4-4 squad. That's 245 that know how to hit. That defense will be a killer. So
you got to break down one more person, man. You left them out, man, and I'm kind of hurt that you left them out, bro.
Number 24?
No. I got him playing on my screen right now. He wore 0 while he was in college. Talk to me. Break him down.
Hey, number 0. Hey, and you know what just happened? That big nose tackle just stopped number 0 from getting hurt, y'all. He won't get hurt no more. He get to play a normal position. The tight ends get the tackle.
No. I'm talking about the drafted guy. I'm talking about the new guy, man.
Who? That's what I was talking about. I said a guy from Texas. Your boy. I call him the bullet.
You call him the
He
bullet?
know how to blitz. I call him the bullet. He know how to blitz. He's 230. And I'm not worried about Philly. Oh, and then the key to this whole thing, guys, remember, them tackles that was in free agent, they started 3 years. They all got better. I want y'all to go watch the Oregon tape against Georgia. Georgia, number 56, that's the guard. He's a tackle from Georgia that we picked up. He weighed 317. I think that's going to be your starting guard. Him and number, because The other guy, he could play two, but he could play tackle and he could play center. The guy from Carolina, but that Oregon guy from tackle, them guys would have been picked in the 4th or 5th round. But you got to remember the plague came. Remember the plague came.
Yes,
a lot of players.
Yeah. The C-19 thing. Yeah.
They got an extra year, so you can't draft everybody. So and the Cowboys went for starters that already started 3 years. They didn't went for projects. Them guys, once they get in the count with Duke and get the way to make the best man win that guard spot. And that's how you want it. And the coach, offensive coordinator say, I'm playing the best 5. And then our number 77, he gonna be your swing tackle. He'll start off and still ain't ready at right tackle, but that's good. We ready, man.
No doubt, man. I appreciate you, bro. I thank you, man.
No, and I don't want to say, Shoemaker gonna show y'all. He gonna show y'all just like Tyler Smith did y'all, cause everybody hurt it to their feelings, cause we didn't get some slow ass guards.
Osiris Torrance, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I wanted DeJuan Jones right there, but I feel you though, fam. I feel you though, man. Yeah. But go ahead, land the plane, man. Let me hear you say it, man. Let me see it.
All I want to say to all the Cowboys fans, 100,000 Queen. I got you when you come to LA, but you other fair weather fans, you come to LA, I'm gonna charge you $100 or $200 to get in the club because you're not LA. You're not a Cowboy fan. I'm only taking care of my Cowboy fans. How about them Cowboys? Let's go,
man. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Yeah. Yes, indeed. That's my guy, man. MJ, man. Marv Jenkins, man. So this him sitting on his Porsche 911, man. He's a cool guy, man. He pretty much run the West Coast over there, man. So he kind of drove up there to Oxnard to see your boy last year. So I can't wait to see him again this year, man. So shout out to you, man. That's my guy, MJ. Appreciate him, dog. Yes, indeed. All right, man. Last but not least, man, I got Cowboys, UGA in the house, man. Hey, tell me about those Georgia people, man. Talk to me, man.
Hey, man, I'm mad. I'm mad all of them in Philly.
All of them in that.
Hey, look. The other caller, he made me mad for talking about Keely Ringo. You know what I'm saying? First of all, you just mad because Keely intercepted that ball and ran it back in that championship game.
Yeah.
Keely Ringo ain't a man cover corner. He'll cover 3 corners. So,
you cover 3 all day, man.
And if you go back and watch that Ohio State game, a couple of them plays, the quarterback was scrambling. So ask any DB to cover, you see what I'm saying, a Marvin Harrison Jr. over the field like that. Like, it ain't like he was just running wide open. Nah, he was scrambling. That first touchdown he caught, he was scrambling. He broke the pocket. Come on, man. Y'all lay out Keely like that. Like,
man, Keely gonna be a boom or bust, basically. And the reason why I say that is because if he's not utilized right, you're gonna see his flaws. But if they fool around and put that kid on the boundary side, and I get what he's saying, and I get what Boss Cowboy Sports is saying, but when my eyes see a physical guy that can run 4 threes, man, that's got the right height and size, man, that you put him in a cover 3 scheme, he would flourish, man, because you see that, he get beaten, but his recovery speed is there. That's number 1 for a DB, and his redirect is there. I pretty much like the kid. He's got to go through his warts.
Put on the Tennessee tape. Put on the Tennessee tape and tell me where Jalen Hyatt was.
Oh, against him, yeah. But the problematic part is now he's an enemy, man. Just like Smitty. I like Smitty coming out of the draft, but now he's an enemy, man. I can't give that man his flowers now. You know what I mean?
Man, I'm telling you, man, Law, I was on Facebook and I seen the comment. I'm like, man, they got Jalen Carter, and I said, man, Philly got another pick at number 30. And I said, man, they finna get Nolan Smith. And then they did it, and I was like, dang. I said, man, Keely on the board in the 4th. I know they finna draft him, and bro, it was. I don't understand. Like, you know, and they GM a Florida guy. Like, he's a Florida man.
Yeah.
Graduated from Florida. Yeah, but I want to talk about Overshown though.
Let's talk about Overshown, man. Let's talk about a good player.
Overshown.
Yeah.
He is a weapon. Like, he's one of these new breeds, one of these positionless players that you put out there and you say sick him. You know about hunting.
Yeah.
About hunting dog. You know what I'm saying? He's like a hunting dog. Once you shoot your target, you turn that dog loose and tell him to go get him. Find it. Go find that kill. And, man, I watched his highlight against the Oklahoma and Texas game lost.
Right.
The first play of the game, sacked. Then he turned around and blocked the punt.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I'm glad we got this guy because he's just gonna create havoc, and he's not the only athlete on the field. Like, you know how many packages Dan Quinn gonna have Parsons and Overshown and all these athletic freaks out there. Like, we can put 2 nose tackles on the field on first down. We can put Big Hank and Mozzie in there and say, okay, and D-Long's good run stoppers. So once we get you to third down, now we got you where we want you.
Yeah.
That's the key.
What you got to look at Overshown is that, all right, so his tenacity is like Dono, but he's about the same height and probably he's a little bit thicker and Paul's than J-Ron Curse. So you have to look at it like he's more athletic. And I hate to say that about Curse. Curse at times get a little stiff, but it's going to take a minute before the bridge of information, the knowledge of Overshown and Curse to overlap each other. So it's going to be a little growing pains in there. But the Cowboys by far then got J-Ron Curse on steroids, in my opinion.
Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you, man, people don't know it, but you know, J-Ron Curse, he was up on the previous regime. We signed him for like a cup of tea, and then we cut him. Then Dan Quinn brought him back. The other Mike Nolan didn't know what to do with him.
He definitely didn't know what to do. Yeah.
Yeah, he got cut, and we brought him back. And people like, man, why we got this trash dude? But that's just Dan Quinn, man. He know how to play athletes.
Yes, indeed, man. It's gonna go good for us, man, regardless. And the best part of it, the best recipe of it, is you don't have to rush them. You don't have to say like the Eagles. They're gonna have these guys to start. Most of those guys got to play right now. You see what I'm saying? Most of those guys. So whereas we can slowly bring those boys about, and those boys can ascend from there, and everybody on every level is gonna have to fight for that spot in competition, iron sharpen iron, steel sharpen steel type of deal.
Even with your guy Shoemaker, right?
Mm-hmm.
I like the fact that he can play a little ace back. Like, he can, instead of us having to bring a fullback, a lineman on the field, or having Noah Brown that's gone, we could put him in there, bring him in motion, and let him lead block like he good at that. So we don't, we just got a lot of versatility.
But here's one thing: I don't want people to sleep on Hunter. I think if Hunter never hurt his shoulder, he would have been drafted. Not saying he would have been drafted earlier, because the NFL looks at fullbacks like a dying breed, right? They becoming extinct, all right? But I can look at Hunter Lupke.
Oh,
yeah, Hunter Lupke.
He good. He good. He's a weapon too.
He's a better, and I know Kyle Juszczyk is really good for the Niners, but he's better than him. And look for the 49ers, few fans, bang bang Niner gang, if you somewhere around here watching, I'm not saying that he's gonna be better, but he's better coming out of college than he was.
I think we kind of looked at the 49ers build of their team, and we kind of said we're gonna kind of match up, because I read somewhere that the 49ers was looking at Shoemaker as a number 2 tight end to replace Kittle eventually.
Oh wow!
Because they liked his traits and his athleticism and blocking. Even though he didn't have a lot of production in college, Kittle didn't either, and Kittle wasn't even highly thought about. To be honest, he was just a blocker in college, but he developed.
Well, here's what I wanted out of Kittles. I wanted the Cowboys to draft him, and we ended up getting Ryan Switzer before him. So I was like, but the Cowboys do Cowboys things, right? And Ryan Switzer, of course, he was a guy that we thought that he could be that. You remember what Boss Cowboy said? We don't look for to compliment, we look for to replace. And we probably thought that he was going to replace, what's the kid name? Cole Beasley.
Yeah, the only negative side with Shoemaker, though, he's a little older. He's 25.
Yeah,
that's an older prospect.
Kincaid was going to. I think Kincaid was going to be 25 too. Yeah, Dalton Kincaid. Yeah.
Well, I didn't want Kincaid. I mean, because if we're going to talk about running the ball, then that goes against, to me, that kind of goes against the grain. That's like you pretty much saying, I want to throw the ball more. Like, if you get a receiving tight end, you pretty much saying, well, we're going to throw the ball more. Now, I want you to show me that commitment to the running game that you're talking about. And I think everything the Cowboys did, they showed us, like, yo, we finna play some smash mouth football when it comes down to do it. Like, we tired of getting bullied.
No doubt, man. Man, it's a good show, man. I appreciate you calling in. Any other thing you want to say before I let you rock, man?
And that's it. How about them Cowboys? That's all I got to say.
No doubt, man. Appreciate you, bro. It's a good call from UGA Cowboy, man. Appreciate him, man. Thank him for the support. We went through a marathon show today. Appreciate y'all, man, for tuning in and being part of this episode. Scoon at 56, Wee Woo draft pick. There's no way you can put lipstick on that one. I feel you, fam. Scoon, I definitely want Scoon to prove me wrong. I ain't gonna even lie to kick it to y'all. Yes, indeed. Ain't nobody mock draft Scoon maker to the second round. If you did, let me know. And I know. Don't come after me, MJ. But what I'm saying is that nobody's seen Schoonmaker drafted to the second. You can run that simulator 1,000 times over. 1,000 times over, you won't see Schoon in the second, right? So that's just how that goes. But now that we got Schoon, and whether it's going to be Schoon, Ferguson, and then Peyton Hendershot, or we going to be Ferguson, Schoonmaker, Shot, Hendershot, or was it Fergushot right now? Or you can just add them all together, Ferg Schoonshot. Maybe you can put all of their names together, put it on a jersey. Ferg Schoonshot. Instead of Ferg Shot, it's Ferg Schoonshot or Schoon Ferg Shot. Somewhere between that frame. Those tight ends, shout out to you, Brenda, for the $1.99 for your mind. Appreciate you. And anybody else who donated, I appreciate y'all. Thank you for becoming a supporter on the Facebook. James Brown, appreciate you. Kenneth, thank you. Glenn Capers, appreciate you. Thank y'all for y'all support. Let's get on up out of here, man. Y'all do me a huge favor. Tell that like button to lean forward. Smash upon the like button. Let me know. Give me feedback on how y'all felt about this show and this episode. And we'll continue to do more. Stay tuned. Film sessions, film analysis will be coming your way on Fihoko, Junior Fihoko. He's the other person. Ferg Shot Maker. Bruce got the toxic juice. Ferg Shot Maker. That's why I think the Cowboys went all the way around to draft Schoon just to have that right there. Ferg Shot Maker. That sounds like a good one. Maker's marks, right? School. It's going to have us all eating our words, man. Or a few. Like I said, no one really know how they sound until someone else say, hey, man, can you stop singing in the shower? You're not sounding like Luther. And that is exactly how this draft situation and scenario is going, right? Everybody like to give out their grades. It's really too soon. It's really too soon. And a lot of pundits and a lot of critics got us right at the C range. At least I got us at a B. But there's nothing wrong with being here to elevate yourself there, right? And truth be told, This is how a lot of people sound when they think they're sounding good. But regardless of it, they may think they sound good, but they don't. And that's how those analysts sound when they're trying to grade the Dallas Cowboys draft picks. And that's right, Fred Anderson. Great show, Law. Appreciate you. But the Cowboys, we understand these type of things. That the race is not to the swift, nor the battle to the mighty. It's to he that endure to the end. And we figure things out each and every way. There's layers to this. There's a levels of coaching that got to get said player to elevate player from this level to that level. And on top of that, the bright lights, the stage, always shine brighter in the Cowboys' land. But at the end of the day, the Cowboys, I told you guys that the 26th pick will be talked about more than any other draft pick out there. And it tends to lean that way. Right? Our UDFA is an A-. Appreciate you, madman. Is all sectors. Think about it. We talking about Hendershot, and he wasn't even drafted. We talking about should Terrence still get his coins, his bag, and he wasn't even drafted here, right? We can go on the list down the line and talk about the guys that we hit on that wasn't even drafted. That's how good we are. Because everybody love to have Big D in their mouths, especially the Eagles fan. What happened to him, Eagles for life? I done talked too bad about him. He ran off without the plug. Write these things down. I've been saying it for years. It helped me when I was sleeping out of my car, listening in to Les Brown. Had to tape the cassette player. They don't make them no more in cars. But if you want a thing bad enough to go out there and fight for it, to work day and night for it, to give up your time, your peace, and your sleep, if all of your desires of it makes you quite mad enough that you don't get tired of it, and it makes you all hold everything tawdry and cheap, if life itself seems empty and useless without it, and all that you scheme and dream is about it, if you'll gladly go out there and sweat for it, fret for it, or plan, and lose all terror of your mind, if you would simply go after the thing you want, if dogged and grim and besieged and beset with the help of Almighty, even if you sound like this. You will get it, baby. DC for life.
Hey, bro, come on now, dog. Come on, man. Damn. Damn.
Let's go, baby.
Give me my theme music.
Hey, let's go. Come on. Final word tonight. Let's bring y'all A game. Let's go over this. I hope Big Game James can jump in, because I didn't get a chance to hear my dog Big Game James, you know, especially on day 2 and day 3. Can't wait to hear what he got to say. But still put your prayers together for Big Game James, DC for life. Now, I didn't know MJ was a Roll Tide fan. You know what I'm saying? So, MJ, instead of roll credits, let's roll Tide on up out of here, baby.
Count that too, count it up. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Need them ones, I need them fives.
Hey.
Need them tens, I need that change. To the safe, got blues inside.
Come on.
Greens and pinks, it's all the same. I still save and roll my change. Take some losses when I play, charge it to the game. I'm with L, yeah, I'm with T Black, I'm with Robin now. I'm with Bay, yeah, I'm with J, yeah, I'm with Chuck and now.
Hey.
Still the same, I switch
Shout out to you. Look at all of the supporters, man. Appreciate y'all. We went overtime today, but that's okay. Hey.
You just rock what's on the shelf and I'm not feeling it. Search for the one, but baby girl, it's nothing real as this. Can't trust a soul, I keep a hammer, call it too legit. I've been really in the field, love the rush, I love the feel lately.
If you don't like Law Nation, you
stupid.
Come on.
Don't need no deals, I make the deal. I have to take it to a meal lately. I just wanna run it up.
Hey, ho.
Kinda check a song. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Count that too, count it up, count it up, count it up, count it up. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Yeah, I just be off the dome. I never own no chrome. Too many foes and clones.
Hey.
Yeah, I be at home alone. I be in zones alone.
I be on roll alone.
Yeah, I've been really in the field. Love the rush, I love the feel. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Don't need no deals, I make the deal. I have to take it to a meal. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Yeah, kinda check a song. Lately, I just wanna run it up.
Run it, baby.
Count that too, count it up.
Come on.
Count it up, count it up. Lately, I just wanna run it up.
If you watching still and you have not hit that like button, nor shared this content, nor subscribe, and you still here, come on, man.
Lately, I just wanna
Shame. I want me some glory hole.
Have to.
When you have favor, people may not try to kill you, but they will try to diminish you.
And nothing's working.
They have a hard time respecting you when you got favor. It's like this. The best way I can describe it is, it's just hard for them to celebrate you. That's the spirit of jealousy. The spirit of jealousy doesn't just want what you got. It's just hard to be happy for whatever you got. Just like if it's time to clap for you, their hands won't touch. It's just that. They can't make the clap sound. It's just they'll secretly look at your post, but they can't hit the like button. I just can't hit like. I can't hit the heart. I can't even repost it because I don't like you. Here's the thing you gotta understand: jealousy always ascends. It is actually twisted applause. It always ascends. You know, it always. I ain't never been jealous of somebody that was doing worse than me. People who are hating on you because they're looking up at you. You'll get there later on. And hate always rises. It rises from a little place. Yeah. And a little person will try to belittle the person they're looking up to.
For rain, you got to deal with the mud too.
You have to be your biggest fan. And when things are really tough and they're really rough and nothing's working, but there's something inside of you that says, I just have to follow that. Because you don't know who